Welcome, everybody, to a brand new Blu-ray and DVD out and about video today. And this week shows us that sometimes family is worth saving in Encanto, hitting store shelves along with the action horror hybrid Resident Evil. Welcome to Raccoon City. The dramatic sports biopic King Richard, the DC animated comic book caper Catwoman Hunted, and Paramount Pictures is releasing a Blu-ray edition of the 1978 comedy classic Foul Play, plus much more. So let's go see the deals, exclusives, and we are at our first location, Walmart. So let's go in and see what they got. All right, everybody, we are in at Walmart, and can you believe it? 4 weeks in a row. Damn. This is the apocalypse. Holy shit. New release love for a damn month, man. Good God. Walmart's actually getting better. Well, kind of, because I gotta say something before we get into the new release love, and there's definitely some that I gotta dive into in a big bad way, but I gotta talk about this. All of the Ghostbusters Afterlife releases, they're all sold out. All of them. Every single goddamn one. That's crazy to me, man. I mean, I'm not entirely surprised at the end of the day because it's a really popular movie. People really loved it. I think to ridiculous lengths. I didn't really love the movie. I explained my reasons why. I think it's just too full of nostalgia. It covers up for not an original story, lacking characters. There's a lot of issues that I have with it, man. But at the end of the day, it is a lot of fun, and I can see why people definitely gravitated towards it. Not me, but apparently everybody else. I'm most likely in the minority, folks, but sometimes it's not bad to be in the minority. I'll definitely be that one that's not with the masses all the time. Sometimes it's good to be the outsider. And this time around, you guys might not think so, but for me, I'm okay with being the outsider. Just a little bit. Just saying. But hey, look, it sold really well. Good on them. And, well, hopefully they'll get more in because, well, if you were waiting for some at Walmart, better luck next time, I suppose. Damn, man. But from last week's release that is all gone to this week's release, baby. Yes, Encanto. The DVD for $19.96, the Blu-ray DVD digital for $24.96, and the 4K Blu-ray digital only at Walmart exclusive with a limited edition enamel pen for $34.96. Oh, that's a cool pin, actually. Oh, nice. Not bad. Walmart rarely ever does exclusives anymore. Every now and again they kind of do. Like they did this one for Dune there, which was kind of cool, which people really loved. And of course the one for No Time to Die. But very rarely do they do many exclusives. They used to do a ton more, but they're very selective nowadays. But it's kind of cool that they did one for Encanto because it is a pretty good movie, not gonna lie, man. So I watched this on Disney Plus with my girlfriend. My girlfriend really wanted to see this movie. We had heard a lot of really good things about it. Everybody was really praising it. And my girlfriend is a sucker for Disney animation. Yeah, it's not always my thing, but a lot of times it's her thing. And so sometimes I have to go with what she wants. I'm trying to be a good boyfriend, folks. And so we watched Encanto. And I really dug this movie, man. I thought it was good. I thought it was really great, man. And basically, it's about Mirabelle and her family. Now, her family is very special. They have these unique abilities that help out the community, and they're sort of like a good luck charm in a lot of ways. And at a certain age, you are chosen to accept your new ability into the community and be a leader. And Mirabelle, when she became of a certain age, she went through the same ritual as everybody else. She thought she was going to get her ability and be special, and she never did. She never got a unique ability, and everybody kind of looked at her like, wow, everybody else does, but you don't. And it's not like they shunned her exactly, but they don't really accept her like they accept the rest of the family. And so when the powers start to go away, when there's a possibility of the actual abilities being gone forever and the uniqueness disappearing, it's up to her to find out what's going on and fix the mistakes of the past. Ah, indeed it is. I really thought this was such an amazing film. And I mean, first of all, the voice acting, absolutely phenomenal. The songs are really infectious, really well done. I love the music. They're great to sing along to. You really get into them. They're memorable. I really appreciate that. I thought the animation was absolutely stunning, gorgeous. It really is just a wonder to your eyeballs. I mean, even watching it on my 4K TV was amazing, but probably watching on a 4K disc is probably even better, man. It is just that damn good. It's so wonderful to look at. I thought the characters were very vibrant and unique and interesting and quirky, and you could definitely tell all of them apart, and they had different personalities, and the abilities are really cool and kind of unique to see on screen, and you definitely get to understand them and feel for them and root for them, and you definitely really like the story of this family and their struggles and achievements, and of Mirabel, who might be simple, might be average, but sometimes average is good enough. I really like the messaging to this movie. I like the fact that they went out of their comfort zone, Disney did, to do something a little bit outside of the box as far as not your normal, typical type of Disney family is concerned. I really appreciated that, man. I thought it was all well done. It's very colorful, it's in your face, very vibrant. Kids are really going to get into this. But it's not too kiddie where adults aren't going to get into it. There's a lot of adult themes here, and I think adults will enjoy this just as much as kids will. It's got a lot going for it, man. It really does. I think it hits all the demographics, and it's just that damn good. It really, truly is, man. I mean, I didn't outright love it as much as I love some of the stuff that Disney has done as of late with other films, but I really did enjoy it. It's not a perfect movie by any stretch of the imagination. There is parts that I thought were maybe a little dull, and there were some musical moments that didn't hit me as well as other moments did, but that being said, this movie is still an absolute home run in every single aspect. The voice acting, the animation, the music, the characters, they really did an outstanding job with this movie, and I can see this movie years from now being an absolute classic. It is just that damn good, man. It really honestly is. Encanto is the real thing, man. If you have a Disney Plus account, you gotta watch this. It is so fantastic, so wonderful. It's fun for the whole family. Honestly, it is. Adults will get as much out of it as kids will, and vice versa. It's really amazing, man, and I really appreciate this movie. I can't say Disney hits it out of the park all the time, but this movie is pretty special and deserves all the love that it absolutely got. And perhaps a little Oscar bait love on top of all the Disney goodness. Oh, perhaps with King Richard, the Blu-ray digital for $22.96, the DVD digital for $17.96, based on a true story of Venus and Serena Williams. This is an interesting movie. This really is. So I watched this on Amazon Prime, and I got to admit that I wasn't exactly looking forward to watching this movie, okay? And the reason why, okay, because I had heard a lot of people praise this movie, right? And that's all well and good, right? I've seen a lot of movies that are praised really well that I absolutely love, like Encanto. And there's other ones that I didn't really like, yeah. So I was like, I don't know about this one. I mean, tennis. I mean, I'm not really a sports fan anyways, but even when I am a sports fan at times, it's never really tennis that's intriguing me. So I'm like, I'm not sure about this. And then the runtime sort of scared me as well. The runtime really did, because it's like 2.5 hours long. And I'm thinking to myself, how is this story that intriguing for 2.5 hours worth of material? tennis? I was just like, I don't know, man. I was really hesitating on this in a big bad way, but I'm like, I'm gonna push on for you guys. I gotta give this a chance. I gotta try this out. And so I had at it, man. And I gotta admit, I am really damn glad that I did. I am serious. This movie surprised the absolute hell out of me. I was really intrigued by the story elements here. I was intrigued by Will Smith. Talk about an amazing performance, man. Will Smith is fantastic in this movie, man. Deserves all the praise that he's absolutely gotten. And I just really love the idea of a father who's trying to break out of the norms that society is putting him in and trying to do better for himself and his kids and all the struggles and accomplishments that go with that. It's so amazing and so absolutely fantastic, and it's such wild that this is such a true story, but I can see it. I can see how this guy literally had to fight and claw his way for his girls to get every opportunity they possibly could. It is so inspiring and amazingly dramatic. I really appreciated this film in every single aspect. Those 2.5 hours, I'm not gonna lie, they breezed by. It didn't even feel like 2.5 hours. It felt like more like an hour and a half. It just really went fast. I was intrigued by everything. I was never bored for a single second. At first, I was a little hesitant. I'm like, I don't know how this is gonna keep my attention, but honestly, it actually did. It's wild and crazy to even think that, man, because when you think about great sports movies, you don't exactly think of tennis. Not really. So I was like, I don't know if this is really going to be a great dramatic work everybody says it is, but honestly, believe the hype because it's just that damn good. The acting is phenomenal. The story is outstanding. And I thought it really tugged at your heartstrings, and it was incredibly inspiring. Shocker of a lifetime, but King Richard actually delivered. Then again, you can't win them all, folks. I hate to say it. Resident Evil, welcome to Raccoon City. The 4K Blu-ray digital for $24.96, the Blu-ray digital for $19.96, and the DVD for $17.96. Now, I had to watch this. I watched this on Amazon Prime, and I watched it because of the name, right? Resident motherfucking Evil, okay? It really is truly a name brand that you just say the words and everybody knows what you're talking about. Whether it's the games or the movie, the words mean something to people, all right? And so here I am wanting to watch it, and I'm like, okay, what am I in for with this, man? Because I did not hear a lot of really great things about this movie, so here I'm thinking to myself, well, sometimes there are certain horror movies that I actually really love that everybody hates, and then there's other times where I end up actually agreeing with the masses. And this time around, I happen to agree with the masses. Yeah, it ain't that hot, folks. I mean, basically, it's about Raccoon City that is shutting down, and the corporation is moving on, and it's basically covering up its tracks, and basically it's all these people in the town that have to survive one bloody night of terror. And all the complications and bloody horror that goes along with it. But did it actually deliver on the goods? I mean, when you think of Resident Evil, right, you think of zombies, you think of mutated specimens that are raining terror on everybody, and certain classic characters that truly make their mark. And yes, it did check all the boxes, okay? So in that regard, yes, it is a Resident Evil movie in the fact that it has the zombies, it has the weird, fucked up specimen creatures, it has the characters that you have come to know and invest yourself into. So it has all of that, right? The problem is it's just kind of going through the motions. It's not really all that memorable. I mean, yes, there's a lot of blood, there's a lot of gore, there's a lot of icky, gooey creatures. There's a lot of that stuff. It just kind of is average and mundane. The characters you don't really ever get to know a lot of. They're just really flesh to be torn apart and or just say random dialogue. I mean, the problem is, like, they're either too stupid, too naive, or they're too smart where you're like, if you're really that smart, why the fuck are you even here in the first place, man? I mean, it makes no goddamn sense. And some of the decisions that they make are absolutely asinine. There's the cop, right? The rookie cop. And okay, he makes the most dumbest decisions in the goddamn world. Like, what's going on here? Who are these people? Literally zombies are coming up to him and crawling to him and literally bleeding from their eyes and their mouth. He's like, stop. Don't come any further. I have a gun. Yeah, like they really give a fuck. Like, seriously, man. Are you that much of a fucking idiot? Come on, dude. That's how they all die in horror movies. Ah, Jesus Christ, man. I wish I would have died. Oh, son of a bitch. It would have saved me some time to give a shit about you. Ah, Lord. Look, man. I mean, it has the Resident Evil moments to it. But just because it has Resident Evil moments doesn't make it a good Resident Evil movie. It just makes it another one of those movies that apes off of a Resident Evil game. And sometimes you want a little bit more. I'm just saying, man. Like I said, the characters are milquetoast. The action at times is good. At other times, you can't really see what the hell is going on. And sometimes, I'll even admit this, the movie is really dark. Like, at moments, I couldn't see what was going on. And certain characters and situations, I was like, wait a minute. I thought there was something wrong with my TV at a certain point. I was like, man, do I have to turn up the color timing on my TV? And I'm like, no, the movie is that dark. It reminded me of, like, AVP Requiem or something. I was like, Jesus, man, like, turn up the lamps or some shit. I mean, come on, dude. I don't know, man. I mean, the CGI was not that impressive. I mean, at certain points, the liquors, oh, Lord, man. I mean, I've seen better CGI in B-movie schlock than I do in this motherfucker. It is so bad, man. It's really embarrassing. For something that came to movie theaters, that's a fucking shame. I mean, there's some really great actors in here, like Neil McDonough. Neil McDonough is in this damn thing. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, dude, Neil McDonough, why are you in this goddamn piece of shit? I mean, he plays one of those evil scientist types. Yeah, you know, the Resident Evil type of evil scientist. Yeah, you get it. Yada freaking yada. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, it's just going through the motions of a Resident Evil movie. And I was even surprised because I didn't even realize this movie was coming out until it really came out the week that it did in movie theaters. I was like, wait a minute. There's a new Resident Evil movie? I saw no trailers for this thing, no hype for it. It literally just came out of nowhere, and I can see why. Because they didn't really want to give anybody any hope that this was a good movie. They just literally blindly put it out there. Oh, Resident Evil, I might as well watch this thing. And when you did, yeah, you instantly regretted the shit. Honestly, just play the video game, man. Seriously, you're gonna get a hell of a lot of more entertainment out of the video game than you ever are gonna get out of this piece of shit, man. At the end of the day, it's just a real goddamn shame because it is a limp dick type of effort for this movie. It had potential, don't get me wrong, but at the end of the day, it didn't deliver on anything. The characters, the horror aspect, which, by the way, you see everything coming a mile away. It's not scary. It's completely predictable. It doesn't have any of that great sort of Resident Evil atmosphere that you've come to know and love in the video games. In fact, it's movies like this that really tarnish the Resident Evil brand. And that's just a goddamn shame. Honestly, you'd be better if you just skipped the damn thing altogether. Seriously. I'm not even joking. Just skip it. Please. Forget it even existed. Take my word for it. You might not, but you're gonna regret it. You really are, folks. Don't say I didn't warn ya. In fact, I realized something. Some of the townsfolk, when their eyes are bleeding, it's not that they're turning into zombies, it's the fact that they watch this fucking movie. So, when you watch this flick, if your eyes start to bleed, go to the emergency room, call your doctor really quick, and have them prescribe something for you. Because honestly, it ain't coronavirus you gotta worry about. It's this fucking movie. Oh, jeez. Yeah, it really is. Please, stay far away, folks. Oh, man, truly. And actually, while I was talking about the Resident Evil badness that this is, the real shittiness, they actually ended up filling a little bit more physical media. They filled Clifford up, which is good for all the kiddies out there. A little bit more big red dog love is never a bad thing. Hell, they even stocked a little more Ghostbusters Afterlife. the 3-movie collection and the 4K as well, without the slip. But with that type of cover, do you really even want the 4K? That is a really shitty cover, folks. They couldn't do any better. Well, kind of like the movie. I know. You guys love it. I hate it. Yada, yada, friggin' yada. I get it. But actually, they restocked a little bit more physical media love. They have new releases here. 4 weeks in a row. That blows my mind. But I'm loving it. Let's hope the trend continues. Let's head out. So is it kind of odd that I'm actually looking forward to coming in here now every single week? Yeah, it's weird for me too, folks. It really is. Oh my god, man. But 4 weeks in a row of physical media love. I haven't seen this in quite a while that they've actually gotten this far. Can we make it number 5? Can they actually push it to the limits? Well, I guess we're gonna have to wait till next week for that. But to be honest with you, I'm actually liking their chances in a big bad way. I truly am, man. I mean, they didn't have all the new physical media love this week, but they had a decent amount, and a decent amount, especially for this place. Yeah, I'll definitely take it, man. Not half bad, and they're continuing to stock the media as well. Wow, they're actually putting out physical media releases. As I said, 2022 has definitely been pretty damn good for this Walmart as of late. And who'd have thought that actually praying to the physical media gods, me actually doing all the praying at night and actually like sacrificing things to the good old gods and believing in them actually paid off. Oh my god. They're actually real? I thought I was praying to nothing. Well, apparently I definitely was praying to something because they actually pulled off the miracle. Who'd have thought? It pays to have a little more faith, folks. It does, especially when it comes to physical media, because eventually, proof positive, it does pay off. Oh, it does indeed, man. Not bad. Some new release goodness and some more restocking love here. Let's see if they can go the distance. Let's see indeed, but we'll have to wait and see on that, folks. But I mean, this week did prove that they can put out the new releases if they definitely do their due diligence, and they have been doing it 4 weeks in a row. And that makes me a very happy physical media boy. And I know it does for you as well. Oh, yes, indeed. So how about we blow this pop stand, release all the new releases we can here, and let's hope for more new releases ahead. All right, everybody. We are at our second location, Target. But before I go in, I gotta talk to you guys about something. So, there's a very interesting article on Variety that I thought was intriguing. Definitely something worth talking about. Cinema is dying. Really? Well, according to this auteur filmmaker, it is. Let's dive in, shall we? An Iranian auteur who is a leading voice in art house film says independent cinema is dying in the era of streaming video. The director of Cannes Prize winner Kandahar, the Stygus and Tokyo winner Gabe, and Venice winner The Silence, says that while streaming presents an opportunity to show a film to many people, it also destroys other kinds of medium. You can eat your food in your room, but why do you go to a restaurant to eat with others? If you are religious, you can go and pray in your room, but you go to a church or a temple or mosque because you want to do it with others. You can see a film in your mobile phone alone, but you go to the cinema to see the film with others, to have an experience. He's not wrong, actually. Cinema is dying in this way because except festivals in many countries, we don't have cinema. And like COVID pushed us into isolation, which is not wrong, these kinds of media have pushed us into this type of isolation. We sit in our home and we watch the film on TV. He goes on to say the cinema is best experienced on the big screen to appreciate the nuances. Possibly. Streamers increasingly fund prestigious independent films or acquire them for distribution like Amazon does as well. How many filmmakers can receive that amount of money, and do you think that Amazon wants to make an art house movie, or do they want to make a commercial entity for the masses? More like commercial entity for the masses, right? Yeah, kinda, guys. I mean, seriously. Because we were making things with low budget, and then we were trying to have diversity of the art. But then Amazon came and suggested, okay, a few of you came and make the film which I like, so this is the end of the art. You have to eventually make something commercial. Art house is only good for a few, but commercial is good for the many. Well, at least that's what Amazon thinks. Now, he goes on to say that many great artists have left cinema because they just don't want to make films for Netflix and Amazon. If that's true, the end of art house may potentially be on its way to becoming a dinosaur. Ooh, it actually just might, guys. Okay, so I actually kind of agree with him just a little bit. I kind of do. Think about it now, right? Because it's all commercial entities at this point, and most movies are made for the general public. In fact, I would kind of argue all films are made for the general public, but not all films ever really get that popular to get accepted by the overall general public. Not every movie is as widely appreciated as maybe they deserve at times. And sometimes the ones that are widely appreciated, well, some of them aren't really deserving of that either. Well, not every film is created equal, folks. Let's be real here. But I understand his way of thinking, because we're slowly getting rid of the art house indie film. We really are, man. Back in the day, they were revered. In fact, some of them were even box office behemoths. And slowly over time, that's very much changed. You look at the 90s and a lot of these artists out there, you think of a Robert Rodriguez, you think of a Kevin Smith, a Quentin Tarantino. They started out being sort of indie filmmakers, art house people that slowly rose in the ranks because their films slowly became popular among the masses. That doesn't happen like it used to. It still does at small points in time. You look at somebody like a Robert Eggers, for instance. I mean, he has definitely rose in the ranks, but those are few and far between. They're not the rule. They're more of the exception than anything else. And so, okay, fair enough, but does that mean cinema is dying exactly? I don't know about that either, because I've heard that statement be made over and over and over again. I mean, think about back in the day, long time back, when talkies were coming into existence, right? The silent film was big and popular, and suddenly the advent of sound and actually having your voice out there in film, and everybody thought, oh my God, this is the end of cinema. We're done. We're over with. Dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria, the end of the world, and it was anything but. In fact, if anything, it actually ended up giving new depth to cinema that they never expected it would have. So I've heard of the death knell of cinema God knows how many times over the course of history, and it hasn't exactly come true. But then again, let's also remember the fact that we're living in different times now. Digital is so huge and so gigantic nowadays that the experience of being in a movie theater is not exactly as flourishing as it used to be. Streaming is the most popular thing nowadays, and original films are being made by Amazon and Hulu and Netflix and Disney Plus, and they're being put on those platforms because they are too big to fail. And you can watch it at the comfort of your home. Yes, you want the massive audience experience, but at the same time, you kind of don't want to deal with all the bullshit of going to the movie theater either. The loud noise, people talking on their cell phones, children crying, overpriced food. I mean, there's a lot of disadvantages to it. But then again, there's moments of being in a movie theater, and I've experienced it, where it's so amazing and so massive and incredible that you're like, I could have never gotten this experience at home. So the communal experience of cinema, I do think, is slowly going by the wayside. But is cinema dying because of that? I truly feel that there's a lot of amazing films out there on these streaming platforms. They're not exactly art house the way that this director wants them to be, but they're not exactly the most commercial films either. there is a balance to this. There really is. And I'm not quite sure we're there with the balance yet. I think a lot of streamers really want to go out there and make a huge impact and make something that's very popular right away. But I think we will eventually get to a point where maybe there's a give and take. Maybe there's some that are more art house and more that is popular. Maybe it'll be half and half at some point. We're not there, but then again, neither is the theatrical window either. There's more popular stuff coming out than there is art house. So maybe it is just the festival circuit. Maybe it is just these few and far between places to find the art house cinema that you love. It's not exactly dead, but it's not exactly thriving either. You know what I mean? I understand where this guy is coming from. And you want to know what? I agree that there's a lot of great movies out there that unfortunately are overlooked and underappreciated, and a lot of foreign movies that unfortunately, let's be real, unless you're going to art house festivals constantly, or unless, you're somebody that is huge into the indie movie scene, you're just not seeing these flicks, man. They're just not coming out in movie theaters that obviously are promoting these things properly, or on streaming platforms that are really putting them front and center on their platforms. A lot of them honestly die in algorithm hell. So again, he makes a good point. I appreciate where he's coming from within the narrative, but to say cinema is dying is not entirely the truth either. So where will it all end up at the end of the day? I'm not entirely sure that I even know. But I don't think cinema is dying. I think it's changing. And if you don't change with the times, you are going to die with the past. And it's the honest to God truth. Streaming is a thing now. It literally is. It's not going away. It's not dying anytime soon. And these companies are investing a lot more money in original content and a lot more money to get your eyes on their platform. So again, hopefully that means that art house will be something that goes along with it, but that only depends on the filmmakers. That depends on where the money is. And sometimes if you are in love with a certain type of cinema, you have to fight for it. Because if you don't, well, you just might end up seeing the death of it. I'm just saying, guys, you gotta let me know. It's fascinating. It truly is. But to say cinema's dying because of streaming or because they're not making as many of these type of certain films, yes, there's an agreement to it, but also a recognition that art house might not be as popular as it used to be. And yes, the festival circuits will carry them because they're prestige films, but the mighty dollar rules at the end of the day. And if they're not making the money that these studios want them to, it's hard to justify. It really honestly is. As a movie lover, I appreciate art house cinema. I appreciate indie cinema. But if you're going to be real, money talks, bullshit walks. And if you're not making the money for them that you want, or major awards that will get their eyes on them, then these studios, man, they just don't give a shit. It's honestly the truth, man. I mean, definitely let me know what you think. Are you into indie? Are you into art house? Or are you just the guy that likes blockbuster cinema? I can't say that you're wrong either way. You need to open up your palette to more movies, but to each their own. You know what I'm saying? Let me know what you think about that. Incredibly fascinating. Interesting how some people see it one way and some people see it the other way. But definitely interested in what you guys have to say about this one. Definitely interested indeed. But Walmart has some new release love, and not bad at all. Always appreciated. But what about more new release goodness? Could Target have more worth checking out? I'd like to hope so. How about we go in? Check it out. All right, everybody, we are in at Target, and new release love is what I wanted, and new release love is what we're getting. Oh, very nice. And if you didn't know, right in the middle of the goddamn display area, there happens to be a Target sale. Movies and books, buy two, get one free. However, it excludes pre-orders and new release movies. Wow, wow. Well, we can't get everything we want, folks, but if you find two that you like, older titles, you get one free. Have at it, ladies and gentlemen. But I'm here for the new release love, and let's dive in with little Encanto. The 4K Blu-ray digital for $29.99. Well, they don't have the Blu-ray and the DVD. I mean, they were $24.99 and $19.99, but they are nowhere to be found. I don't know whether they sold out really fast with people buying them, or that the Redbox Bandits came and got them, because if you remember, the Redbox Bandits have striked before here at this Target, and I think they might have done it again. Like, they are literally all out of it, nothing to be told. So something tells me the Redbox Bandits striked again. Damn it. One of these days I'm gonna catch them in the act, god damn it. I truly am. Well, we got none of that, but we do have a little exclusive Target love, the 4K for $34.99. Ooh, this is nice, and new artwork, not bad. I'm digging this, very cool. Comes with limited edition lithographs, Colombian artist collaborations. Okay, that's not bad, pretty cool actually. Nice little cool Target exclusive for Encanto. And I'm kind of noticing something, right? Her facial expression is the same in this exclusive as it is on the 4K. Literally, she has the same look as, like, yeah, my family's weird, right? Oh, yeah, they kind of are. Oh, man. Well, that's kind of a cool one. That's not bad, actually. It was pretty nice. So, I gotta say, I'm really digging the diversity that Disney has been doing as of late. I really do, man, because I gotta admit, right? I am an old school Disney movie lover. I loved that stuff when I was a kid. And I gotta admit, when I was a kid, way back in the day, I never really noticed the whole, like, every character is white thing. Like, I never noticed it. It totally went over my head. I mean, I was a kid, man. I mean, give me a break. But as I got older, I was like, yeah, there's not much, like, diversity in any of these movies. And I think Disney was kind of finally realizing that at a certain point, and they've kind of changed course. And good on them for finally doing it, man. I mean, there's been some really great ones that they've done. I mean, I've really dug Moana. I thought Moana was really fantastic. Raya and the Last Dragon is a good representation as well. Luca, absolutely fantastic. So I'm kind of liking that they're doing something different, not always the same sort of, fantasy white characters that they've had most of their time on this earth as Disney animation is gone. I mean, seriously, go back. It really is the truth, man. I mean, as much as I love those movies, you gotta admit the truth. You know what I'm saying? I mean, even Soul's fantastic as well, and I like what they did with Soul. So they are diversing themselves a bit, maybe a little late, but better late than never, I suppose. It is the truth, but I really did dig this movie. Unfortunately, it being on Disney Plus, I think it kind of got drowned out a little bit. I mean, it did get a little bit of a theatrical thing, but not much. I think most people are finding it now, which I'm really happy that they are, and it's well worth diving into. I mean, even the music itself, and I gotta give Lin-Manuel Miranda a lot of credit, because he created all of the songs, all the original material. It's absolutely amazing, fantastic. It really sticks in your head. He's so much better than just the Hamilton stuff. I mean, Hamilton stuff is amazing, but he's really proven himself to be a great musical wonder, and Encanto absolutely proves that. I mean, it really does, man. I mean, I think that I'm looking forward to the future of what Disney does and the diversity, where they're gonna go next with it. There's so much possibilities. There's so much ideas that you can throw out there. And now that Disney is really opening themselves up to it, it gives them a real chance to make some really fantastic movies for everybody. And for a long while, they were only doing just a small portion of the world, and now they're opening up so much more. And I just think that with diversity and really champion that, I think you can make really great movies and really great material for everybody out there. Not everybody looks like Snow White or Cinderella. Sometimes they look a little different. And it's nice to be represented. It truly, honestly is. And Encanto proves that a good story and a good representation can make for a pretty damn good movie. Not bad at all. The family may be weird, but they're definitely adorable, definitely lovely, and it's a family that I wouldn't mind being adopted into. Maybe they'd accept me. I hope. Feline perfection never looked so good in the Blu-ray digital of Catwoman. Hunted for $24.99. Yes, DC animated love is back, baby. Oh, yes. Nice. Oh, man. I could not wait for the next DC animated movie because I have been loving the DC animated films as of late. They have been really fantastic, really awesome. And I got to admit, like, DC is the best when it comes to this animated stuff. They truly are. The stories, the animation, the characters, they're the best, baby. They truly are, man. So I'm like, I'm jonesing. When's the next one? And they finally delivered with little Catwoman goodness. Oh, very nice, man. Now, I saw this on Amazon Prime, and I want to, because primarily I do like Catwoman. I think she's a groovy chick. I really do, man, in all her different iterations. So I figured I definitely wanted to show Catwoman a little love, so I watched it on Amazon Prime. Now, basically, it's about Catwoman herself. She's looking for this jewel, this exclusive jewel, and she gets the jewel. However, just because she gets it doesn't mean that she actually has it, because there's a lot of complications with villains and Batwoman and the cops that are trying to take down the bad guys, and she has to navigate through the waters of helping them, but yet being on her own and trying to save the day at the same time, but yet be the sly and sleek Catwoman that we know and love. Oh, yes. I gotta admit, from the get-go here, I really dug this movie, man. And the reason why I dug it is because there's a certain type of caper style to this movie. It's almost aping off of, like, 60s style comedy capers, almost like an Ocean's 11 or something. It has that feel, whether it's the animation style or the music itself. Like, it really feels like it's taking a big influence from the 60s in a big bad way, and I love it so much. I mean, it fits Catwoman anyways because, you know, she's a pretty good cat burglar. You know what I mean? Eh? Cat burglar? Get it? Eh? Oh, so good, man. And it's really great. I love her quirky one-liners, her comebacks. I like the relationship that she has with Batwoman, the idea that it's sort of this antagonistic relationship, but yet at the same time, there's like this sexual undertone to it, which is really weird, but it kind of makes sense with their history and the Bruce Wayne thing. It kind of makes sense. I really dig it. I will say this, though, that I like the first half of the movie better than the second half. Eventually, we have to get back to your standard DC action comic book style movie, which I still appreciated, but I like the vibe of the sort of comic book caper type of action that they were going for early on, and I felt they kind of dished that after a while. They kind of brought it back towards the end of the movie, but I wish they would have kept it all throughout the film. It would have been nice to have had a straight up cat and mouse thrill ride between Catwoman and Batwoman. That would have actually been really cool, and I would have much rather preferred that. I mean, I get why they go back to the whole comic book action standard fare. I understand it, but if you're going with the 60s vibe, if you're going with that whole sort of Ocean's 11 type quirkiness and cheekiness, why not go all the way with it? I figured that would have been much more unique. It's not like DC hasn't done that before, doing something outside the box, so that is a little bit disappointing. And I'm not gonna lie, the animation, it's not terrible. I appreciated the animation. I thought it worked for what they were trying to do with it, but it's not like top tier DC animated movie level that you come to expect. It's a little bit under that, but I still appreciate it regardless. I mean, look, I really love the design of the characters. I thought it was fun, adventurous, a good cheeky quality with the characters, and I like the vibe that they were going for. I mean, at the end of the day, I think the character of Catwoman lifts this up in a big bad way. I mean, it would have just been a standard DC animated movie, nothing really to write home about, but Catwoman makes it that damn good. And I think she's just a fun character that lifts something a little bit average a little bit further up the ladder, and I think you definitely got to appreciate that. It's not the most perfect DC animated movie ever, but it's definitely not the worst. It's got its ups, it's got its downs, but I appreciate the effort, and for somebody who's an old school movie lover that loves those type of heist flicks, this kind of scratched my itch. All right, get down, brother, with little Summer of Soul. Oh, the DVD for $14.99. Something new worth checking out. Or When the Revolution could not be televised. Okay, interesting indeed. What is this about? It is acclaimed debut as a filmmaker. Questlove sends a powerful and transporting documentary, part music, film, part historical record, created around an epic event that celebrated Black history, culture, and fashion. Over the course of 6 weeks in the summer of 1969, just 100 miles south of Woodstock, the Harlem Culture Festival was filmed. Really? Which was largely forgotten until now. Summer of Soul, that's kind of unique and interesting, isn't it? That's not bad at all, man. Summer of Soul. So all the while Woodstock is happening, this is happening at the same time. That's wild to think that one is so high profile, that one is so legendary and memorable, and the other one is pretty much forgotten and not even remembered. That's crazy to me, man. I mean, look at the acts here. That's phenomenal, man. That is wild that this has gotten pretty much unnoticed and forgotten over the years. It truly has to me, because what's really fascinating, as I always find, is that there's a lot of great memorable things that happen over the course of history, especially music wise, and there's certain things that you instantly know, right? You say the word Woodstock and you instantly know what that means. You know the artist, you know the look, you know the iconography. It's immediately imprinted in your mind. Even if you weren't there, you get transported there. There's so many movies and documentaries that have been made about it. But there's other certain events that get thrown under the rug that should have almost equal importance. And Summer of Soul definitely feels like that. I mean, it's such an important festival that really just gets thrown under the rug like this is wild to me. But I'm so glad that it got resurfaced. It looks amazing. I mean, the bands and the vibe and just the culture sounds absolutely amazing to me. This definitely feels like something I will have to watch at some point, probably with my girlfriend, because honestly, she is a huge music lover, man. Really love it. I mean, yes, more punk music than anything else. I'm trying to get her into more music, folks. You know, there is more than just punk out there. But overall, she is a big music fan and really loves music history overall. And this seems like something right up her alley, man. Truly does. It just is wild to me that something so significant and so important could be just forgotten in an instant. Man, it is truly amazing the things that don't get the kind of attention they absolutely should, and when they finally do, maybe a little bit too late, but honestly, better now than never. And so Summer of Soul, honestly, to me, looks pretty damn groovy. Take me down to the Raccoon City where the zombies are cute and the liquors are pretty. Oh, won't you please take me home? Yeah. And I came up with that all by myself, folks. the Blu-ray digital of Resident Evil. Welcome to Raccoon City for $22.99, the DVD for $19.99, and oh yes, Resident motherfucking Evil, man. Oh man, you know, the truth of it is, and I'm gonna lay it on the line here, horror is really tough to do nowadays. It truly is. We've seen so much from horror that it's truly hard to make something really scary and atmospheric nowadays, and then trying to actually do it just like a video game, that's even tougher. That's not very easy to pull off at all, man. And I don't think this really succeeded. I mean, think about it for a second. When you first played that original Resident Evil video game, that scared the shit out of you. Come on, man. I mean, I remember playing it over at my friend's place, and I was scared. Like, it would be very quiet, dark, and dank, and you'd hear these little noises, and you didn't know what was going on. Who was right behind you? Who was behind the door? Like, you never knew what was around the corner next. And there was something thrilling about that, but terrifying at the same time. And I don't think that the movies have ever really replicated that in the best way possible. I think the best Resident Evil adaptation is that first live-action movie with Mila Jovovich. I mean, it's not exactly pure Resident Evil. I mean, he puts in new characters, different situations, but I think there's a certain amount of genuineness that he did put into that first one, I think. And there's moments where it really feels like it's straight out of the game. And there is a certain amount of dread and imposing, looming threat that I really appreciate. It's not perfect. It's got warts. Don't get me wrong, man. But I appreciated it. Looking back now at all the other Resident Evil films, this one included, yeah, I do appreciate it more. I truly do, actually. I think it's better than I think people gave it credit for at the time. I was in the movie theater with Bob watching that first Resident Evil movie, and I really loved it then, and probably appreciate it even more now looking back at the whole thing. I mean, this movie has all of the key characters. You have Joe Valentine, you have Redfield, you have Wesker. I mean, you have all those names in there, but they don't really do much with them. They're kind of, in my opinion, they're window dressing in a lot of ways. They really are, man. And it kind of is the same problem that I had with a lot of the Resident Evil sequels, where they put in those characters, right? Oh, we have a Wesker, we have a Joe Valentine, we have all the other people, but they never really did anything with them. They give you the iconic outfits, they give you the look, you know, the badass poses, but they don't ever really do anything with them that makes it meaningful for them to be there. And that's the same thing with this, man. I mean, yes, you have to put in the zombie dogs. Yes, you have to put in the liquor. Yes, you have to put in all that other stuff. But if you don't do anything clever and memorable with it, then what's really the point? The Resident Evil video games are really cool, man. And they've really stood the test of time, and I think they've gotten scarier. I think they've gotten more demented, and I've really appreciated that. But I just don't think the movies have exactly caught up to where the video games are. And will that ever happen? I don't know if it actually will. We've only had one that's been kind of good. The rest have kind of been a pale comparison. I mean, even this movie goes out of its way to set up a sequel, but this movie bombed bad at the box office. I mean, really got shit on badly. Critics hated it, fans hated it, it didn't make a lot of money, and I hate when a movie does it. I really fucking hate when a movie ends up setting up for a sequel that they don't deserve and leaving you hanging, and this kinda did that. We're never gonna get a sequel to this, folks. I'm just being real with you. I just think it's kind of a damn shame. I mean, again, if you're going to go all the way with something, go all the way with it. If you're going to make a faithful adaptation to a video game like a Resident Evil, you either do something unique and clever with it and really make something that reminds you of, like, even something like Silent Hill, right? I mean, Silent Hill was atmospheric and creepy and scary. You could do this with Resident Evil, but they just haven't done it yet. You need the right director, you need the right studio to really back something like this. And unfortunately, this movie, just like a video game character, needs to get killed, ripped apart, potentially by a liquor, and never, ever reanimate. The wonderful wide world of tennis. King Richard. The Blu-ray digital for $22.99, the DVD digital for $19.99. And let's talk about Mr. Smith, shall we? Big Willie himself, all right? The blockbuster box office king himself, well, back in the day. You know, he is a man who has done so many action movies, spectacle films. He's got so much charm and swagger for days. But every once in a while, Will Smith goes out of his way to tell you that he is an actor. He's not just a pretty face. He's not just a box office king. He's not some guy that can shoot a gun with precision and accuracy. He is a guy that can truly do a dramatic performance when he is called to do one. And there has been a few examples of that. I mean, 6 Degrees of Separation. Do you remember that film? That was really early in his career, man. And I remember seeing him in that and thinking, my God, okay, this guy is definitely gonna go far. He's got some really good acting chops. And then he went on to do Bad Boys and Men in Black and Independence Day, and didn't exactly go the actor route that I thought he might, but he eventually got back to it. I mean, Ali, I thought he was pretty good in Ali, man. He wasn't half bad. I thought he did a pretty damn good job with that movie, all things considered. I mean, you also have 7 Pounds, which I know a lot of people don't really like 7 Pounds. I actually kind of like that movie. It's not perfect. I think it's kind of predictable. You see it kind of coming a mile away. But I actually liked him in that. I thought it was a really good performance, good dramatic work. Definitely dug that one. And yet, not all Will Smith dramatic performances are created equal. Can we agree on that? I think we can, or at least I hope we can, because I mean, look at something like Collateral Beauty. I mean, it's not outright terrible, but it's just kind of forgettable. I didn't really like that movie all that much. It's not exactly high on the Will Smith dramatic meter, put it that way. And even Concussion. I mean, I like Concussion better than Collateral Beauty, but it felt kind of long and dragged out. I don't think Will Smith was the best person for the role. I mean, it's an important issue, and I'm glad they made a movie about it, but I think it could have been better, all things considered. And then there's the action movies that he was in where he does the dramatic turns. Like, you look at something like Gemini Man, which is really average at best, or After Earth. Ooh, God, I think that's like one of the worst Will Smith movies of all time. So he's tried with varying results, some better than others, but I give him credit for really trying, man. And when he really does a fantastic performance, he really shines in that movie, and King Richard is one of them, man. I kind of feel like as he gets older as an actor, I think he's going to head more towards dramatic work than anything else. In his younger years, he was doing more action stuff. It's not like he's not going to do that anymore. He definitely will. I mean, there's clearly going to be another Bad Boys movie, folks. Money talks, bullshit walks. Of course, we're getting it, man. But I mean, I think as he's getting older, he can't do the action like he used to do, and I think he's going to gravitate to more of the dramatic work stuff to really show off his acting chops more. And if they're anything like King Richard, consider me a fan, because he's amazing here. He loses all the Will Smith charm, the swagger, to play a guy who's very unconfident of himself, somebody who is sacrificing his life for his kid's future, and somebody who is not the most good-looking man in the world. He has, bad hair, bad beard, bad teeth, and so this is not a glamour role for him, and I appreciate that he went out of his way to do this, to really show off what he's capable of. And Will Smith is capable of a lot. He's shown that in a lot of dramatic work. And King Richard really shows that when he really tries his hardest, when he really puts his best foot forward and wants to make a very memorable role, he can do it. He has to look unattractive in order to do that, but hey, if you want that Oscar, you definitely got to go the extra mile, you know what I'm saying? Indeed you do, man, but he definitely pulled it off in King Richard, that's for sure. And the last thing that I'm seeing here, last but certainly not least, the complete second season of Stargirl, the DVD for $22.99. Ah, yes, the second season. Nice. Now, I talked about this last year, I think, the first season of Stargirl, and I really dug it. I watched Stargirl. I thought it was actually really fun. I kind of went into Stargirl kind of like, I don't know about this. Like, young adult CW could be kind of lame. And it was kind of adventurous, and it was a little bit of a surprise. Like, I really dug it, man. I liked the performances and the characters and the costumes and the superhero vibes to it. I really dug it, man. And I honestly have not watched a single episode of the second season. There's been so much that I've had to watch. There's been so many things that I'm literally like got a huge stack of things to watch already. So a lot of TV stuff has been on the back burner, and Stargirl happens to be one of them. But I definitely want to watch it because I really liked it. And I thought it was a really good young adult superhero for young girls to really get into. These characters are kind of unique and quirky, and I like the storylines. And I was like, okay, I'm definitely interested in this. And it turned out to be a very pleasant surprise, man. Embrace your destiny. Well, embrace Stargirl, more like it. I gotta say, look, not every young adult comic book superhero adaptation is all that great, right? There's a lot of TV stuff out there that is frankly hot garbage, okay? There really is, man. The CW produces more of it than most, all right? They really do, man. But I gotta give Stargirl credit because it's just really fun. It really is. And I thought they pulled off the first season really successfully. So if they can do the same with the second season, I'm definitely on board. I gotta watch it, man. I mean, I have HBO Max, so most likely it's on there. So I gotta give it a go at some point, man. But, is the second season worth it? Is it not? Did it live up to the hype from the first season? Or was it a sophomore slump? You definitely gotta let me know. But I am interested to check it out. Like I said, not every CW show actually gets better with every season. Sometimes they get worse. I've heard a lot of bad things about a lot of the CW shows that end up turning into real shit after a while. Let's hope that doesn't happen to Stargirl. But honestly, the odds aren't in their favor. But let's hope they buck the trend, guys. Let's hope indeed they do. But not bad physical media love this week. A lot of plentiful goodness for sure. A lot of stuff we're checking out, man. Target definitely did their due diligence for physical media love, and I definitely appreciate it. Let's head out. Are you looking for that physical media love? Nowhere else to turn? Well, Target saves the day. Oh, indeed they do, baby. I mean, Walmart is steadily improving, but Target, they've been holding it down. Oh, they certainly have, man, and I definitely appreciate it. And this week, oh, they had all the varieties, baby. They had the new release love. They had exclusive goodness. They even had a little CW young adult superhero TV love as well. Not half bad this week, man. Target is definitely supplying all the goodness. I mean, yes, they kind of got raided by the Red Box Bandits, so, you know, nobody's perfect after all. But that being said, well, Red Box Bandits, damn it. They ruin the physical media week all the goddamn time. But outside of the Redbox Bandits, which we will eventually catch and we will definitely bring to justice, outside of that, Target definitely supplied the love this week, as they have been as of recent. They really have every single week been showing off something, every single week having new release goodness. And as a physical media lover, I always appreciate that in a big bad way, especially variety like this week. A guy can really dig it. Oh, he certainly can, baby. And I hope you can too. All the goodness here was definitely well worth it. But hopefully there's more physical media love on the way. All right, everybody, we are at our third location, the second Walmart. I'm going to go in and check out if there's any interesting indie titles worth showing off. If there is, I'll bring it back to Film Fan 108 HQ and show it off to each and every one of you. But before I do that, I gotta talk about a trailer with you guys. Now, I love the Toy Story franchise. To infinity and beyond. I love it so much. Part of my own childhood. But sometimes company decides to revisit. Sometimes to show you the origins. I mean, seriously, what did you actually think the inspiration to Buzz Lightyear was? Well, it just happened to be a man who explored space and the infinite possibilities in Lightyear. Oh, yes, going back to the origins, to the original OG, so to speak. Why not a little bit of revisit? Well, that's what they say. Yes, Lightyear indeed, coming in the summer of 2022. Oh, baby, here we go, man. So, I gotta admit, here I am, a lover of Toy Story franchise. 1, 2, and 3 are quintessential classic Disney. The fourth one, give or take, it has its moments, but generally the Toy Story franchise is extremely beloved, and for a reason, right? And going back to seeing what the inspiration was for this Buzz Lightyear toy is kind of cool, actually. And I like the idea of this guy who is in space and doing this mission and gets caught up in this whole wild, crazy sci-fi adventure. It is cool, and I like the trailer. There is some funny moments, there's some heartwarming moments. The animation, absolutely gorgeous, man. My God. You know, look, when Disney does what they do, it is phenomenal, let's be real. And Pixar is amazing, and just the trailer alone pretty much tells you that when you're in the movie theater watching this, just the animation alone is going to stun you. And it really is true. I'm just a little hesitant about the movie. And the reason why I am is because, did we really need this movie? Did we really need to see the origins of the Buzz Lightyear toy? Did we really need to see the man himself? Especially so many years later after the fact. It kind of feels like maybe a little bit of a cash grab, right? Because, I mean, yes, they could make another Toy Story movie, but Toy Story 4 did really well, but it didn't do as well as the other Toy Story films, especially critically. A lot of people weren't as big of a fan of that as they were the other 3 films. And maybe by doing a prequel of sorts to the actual original person, maybe it would be something new and refreshing. And it might very well be, because I love sci-fi adventure. I love space exploration. And to do it in a kids animated movie with Pixar sounds like a really cool idea that I would be into. I like stuff like WALL-E. So, I mean, that alone gets me intrigued. But also, it just feels like it wasn't necessarily needed either. So it's kind of like a hard balance between the two. On one hand, it looks stunning as far as the animation is concerned. Chris Evans doing the voice of Lightyear is really cool. I love Chris Evans. I love the sort of joke stuff with him and his robotic cat, and with these weird alien creatures that he's fighting and he's going up against. It looks fun. It looks adventurous. It looks like it'll be a great time in the movie theater, but at the same time, you sort of ask yourself, maybe I would have wanted something a little more original instead of a slight retread. I don't know, man. We're going back to the well so much with a lot of these properties that a part of me can't really blame Disney for doing it, but at the end of the day, why do this? Why couldn't you just do something slightly more original? Why did you have to do Lightyear? The only reason I can think of is that it's already a known property. Toy Story is known, people love it. It's beloved films for children and for adults alike. And so you already know the name Buzz Lightyear. So if you already know the name, we're already giving you something that you kind of know. So that already gets you into the theater because of the name itself. fair enough, but again, Disney has been doing a really great job with a lot of original stuff as of late. Why going back to the retread stuff? I don't know. I mean, I understand known properties, but you've really been doing good with original stuff. You could have just done that, and I think we would have been just as hyped and excited for it. Kind of curiosity about this. I'm interested because it looks great, and I'm up for a cool sci-fi adventure, but sometimes retreads, well, they don't always have the best track record. Put it that way, guys. I am looking forward to it because it's Disney animation, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. Definitely let me know what you think about that. It looks cool, and I am looking forward to it. As a Toy Story fan, it's something I instantly have to watch, but I don't know if it's going to peak the way that I love the other Toy Story films. Especially since it's not really even a Toy Story movie, it's more just an origin of the space hero that the toy was aped off of. Eh? Hey, guess we'll have to wait and see, guys. Definitely let me know what you think about this one. In the meantime, well, there hopefully is more physical media to explore. The second Walmart just might provide it. How about we go in and see what we got? All right, everybody, in at the second Walmart, and actually, the physical media love this week has been pretty damn sweet, hasn't it? Man, it's been pretty good, I gotta say. February is looking really good for physical love. Oh, indeed it is. So, well, when it comes to the indie Walmart weirdness, the bizarreness, the oddities, come on, we've got to have some love this week, right? I mean, this can't be the only store that doesn't have anything. Well, you'd be right. Oh, indeed you would be, because we do have some physical media goodness. Not a lot, mind you, but the mileage that these movies are going to have, oh, will definitely be very interesting to explore and suffer through. Oh, indeed it will. You know how the indie Walmart love does it, so you know what that means. Oh, yes, come on, Seth. You know that I'm sending you all that physical media weirdness, and you gotta be ready, baby. Yes. Ooh. See here. Oh. So good. Hold on a second. Isn't that supposed to be for your girlfriend? Well, yeah, they are Olivia's. Well, technically, I'm the one that bought them, but, I mean, they were for her, but, I mean, come on. I'm the only Valentine's Day present she really needs. You know what I'm saying? Are you so sure about that? Well, of course she does. I mean, why wouldn't she? Right? She doesn't need the chocolates. I do. Well, let's just say, for instance, that I do screw up, right? She wanted the chocolates. I doubt it. But let's say that she does, right? If I gotta make it up in any way, I did bring out the big guns. Bam, baby! Titanic. I mean, come on, man. Who doesn't love a little Leonardo DiCaprio romantic disaster movie? That'll definitely get her going. Right. Good luck with that one. I bet it will really work. In the meantime, while you're ready to woo her with Titanic, how about you show off some of the physical media love in the meantime? You know, before she kicks your ass. Not only for eating her chocolates, but also for showing her Titanic. Okay, doubt me all you want, but I'm telling you, the 1-2 punch of having chocolates and Titanic is too much for her to resist. You know it, baby. Oh, and me included? Boy, that's a damn good parent. Oh, indeed it is. I got this all locked up, folks. Oh, indeed I do. No worries, baby. But I suppose you're right. I mean, before I go over and woo her with Leonardo DiCaprio and an iceberg and, you know, a few chocolates left, I might as well show off the physical media love. Yeah, I probably should, man, because it's been actually really great so far. Walmart had stuff, Target had plenty. Man, it had been quite unique indeed. So, of course, here I am hoping that the indie love at Walmart ended up sufficing me to some really unique and bizarre needs. Well, not gonna lie, they had the goods, and as far as the bizarre needs, oh, I think it's gonna deliver in that too. Another week of the weird and the bizarre, and I just can't get enough of it. Oh, I can't. It's just too good to pass up. Seriously. Well, maybe not all of them are good. Sometimes I wish I'd pass up on it. I'm a glutton for punishment, folks. I hate to say it, but it really is true. And this week definitely proves it. Oh, it does indeed. Let's dive in, shall we? The first title I'm seeing, Bloody Mary. Oh, say her name. Oh, I think I'll pass. Oh, no. Oh, look behind you. Jesus. This chick's having a bad hair day. And apparently a bad makeup day. Honestly, I don't care if you pay the 5 cents for a paper bag. Can you just put it over her goddamn head, please? Fuck. Goddamn, man. A group of friends decide to hold their school reunion at a spa getaway in the mountains. Seriously? That's where you decide to host it? I mean, why can't you be like everybody else and just host your high school reunion, in a gymnasium or some shit? I mean, seriously. You just gotta outbast everybody, don't you? You son of a bitch. Oh, man. Looking to kill some time one evening, they decide to play a round of Bloody Mary. But they thought was a child urban legend quickly becomes reality as they find themselves being stalked by her deadly spirit. With time ticking away, they must figure out how to release themselves from Bloody Mary's curse before it's game over. Forever. Good luck. Better you than me, bitch. Oh, damn right. God damn it, man. Never fucking learn. Well, I thought it was just an urban legend, right? I mean, what's the harm in it? But honestly, urban legends, well, they can really kill you, folks. And I got the movie that proves it. Oh, indeed I do. You definitely know that I do. None other than urban legend itself. Oh, God, do I love this movie, man. Just because it's an urban legend doesn't mean that it can't happen to you. That is for damn sure, man. Oh, I love this film so much, man. Taking urban legends and doing them in a twisted, unique way. God, I fucking love this shit. I truly do, man. So damn good, man. Urban Legend is fucking amazing. Really dig that. The sequel has its moments, don't get me wrong, but the original is really, really great, man. Truly is, right? So I'm thinking to myself, okay, they think it's an urban legend, and they're like, well, why don't we play it regardless? And I'm like, Jesus Christ, seriously? Fine, okay. If you want to say the name over and over again, fair enough, but honestly, you're just incurring somebody's wrath, right? Because these people are not the only stupid ones to say a name over and over again and then get killed, right? Because there's many other ones out there that you would think they would learn by now, but they just don't. I mean, come on. Candyman. Seriously. Candyman. 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 Nope. No. I'm not doing it. Fuck that, man. Oh, shit. But I really do love this movie, man. And yes, there is always stupid people that say it in the mirror and, get themselves in trouble. There's a really great story that Clive Barker tells. He's in the movie theater watching Candyman, right? When it came out in theaters. And there's this big, tough, burly black guy that's watching the movie, and he's getting all scared to shit, right? This big, tough guy is turning into a pansy ass, and At a certain point in the movie, they start saying the Candyman name, and he's like, "Oh, don't say it! Goddamn, don't say it, bitch!" and, and Clive Barker is just smiling ear to ear because he's like, "Oh man, you just get him, man. Sometimes a horror movie can really get you in a way of like, dude, don't fucking say it, man. What are you thinking?" Exactly. Oh, Lord. But, honestly, we wouldn't have great horror villains if it wasn't for stupid people. So there is that. I mean, come on, man. But I love this so much, man. I really do, man. Legends and myths, just because they are doesn't mean that it's not real. And Candyman proves the point, as does many horror villains out there. Freddy, Jason, Michael, Leprechaun, Pinhead, Chucky, you name it. If you're stupid, they'll find your ass. Oh, indeed they will, man. So, yet another one going for the stupid people yet again. Bloody Mary. And honestly, there's a lot of stupid fuckers out there. And honestly, there's enough to go around. So, everyone has a shot at stupidity. Because honestly, there are so many stupid people in the world that honestly, there's not much to really do with them. So why not give them to horror villains to basically gruesomely kill in clever and creative ways? Actually, I kind of like that idea. We should just do that. It'd save the world a lot of time and effort, folks. It really would, man. Oh, I don't know. I mean, I like the idea of an urban legend. I like the idea of this creepy Bloody Mary chick and how, you say the name too many times or you play the game and she'll basically kill you and play you and come after you and be part of her wicked evil game. It sounds fun. It sounds like a bloody B movie-ish good time. I don't know though. I love a lot of the old school slasher films, a lot of the old school supernatural flicks out there. Like I said, Candyman, fucking amazing. But honestly, Candyman is so damn good, and trying to ape off of that, yeah, you're not Tony Todd, bitch. Not even close. Good luck next time, I suppose. Cool cover art, but something tells me the movie is not half as good. That's what they do. They get you with the cover art, and then once you open it and watch it, well, Bloody Mary, she's now got your ass and your money. Well, she may not kill you, but, she'll at least take $10 from you. It's time to take justice into your own hands with the Awakener. Yes, look at this. Wow. Time for vengeance. You're damn right it is. Holy shit. Nice. Oh, very nice. Based on the epic comic book. Really? Now, this is kind of a shocker to me since I don't really know anything about the Awakener. I'm not gonna lie. I like the cover. The cover's really cool, man. He kind of looks like a Darth Vader ripoff. But sure, he's a superhero. Cool. Why the hell not, man? Why not add another one to the mix of so many goddamn heroes out there? One more? Is it really gonna break the bank at this point? I doubt it, man. Interesting. But I did end up watching the trailer to this because I really wanted to. I'm like, what, the Awakener? And it's kind of interesting because basically it is about this guy that loses something and goes against the system. Corrupt politicians, criminals. Or division. Miguel has lost everything and is now a journey of vengeance. Yes, skilled with weapons, highly trained, deadly mass vigilante. Yes. Ah ha ha. You can either be Charles Bronson just with a gun walking around shooting punks, or you could be this dude. Either way, it works for me, man. I mean, seriously. Politicians, criminals, govern his beloved homeland at the expense of his people just to reach their own personal interest. And he's had enough of it, baby. Oh, he definitely has. It kind of looked good from the trailer. It didn't look half bad, man. I remember this being like a 2018 film or something. So it's been a while. And it's just finally really reaching physical media at this point, which is fucking nuts, dude. But it kind of looks cool, man. And I got to admit, I'm always down to check out a new superhero or comic book character that I've never heard of, man. I mean, it's kind of fascinating because, we always hear of the ones that you know and that you love, right? They're always going to be there. Honestly, it's just the truth. But the ones that are outside the box, you don't always know about. And it's kind of unique and fascinating to me, man. I mean, that's why I love it. I mean, yes, there are some that I really, really dig a lot, man. Truly, truly dig. I mean, yeah, Deadpool didn't always get a lot of love. Finally has gotten much more love since the movie and Ryan Reynolds taking over. Amazing, obviously fantastic. I do think Harley Quinn is finally getting a lot of her just desserts as well. Yeah, she was getting more popular anyways, but I think with the movies and everything, that's definitely opened up quite a bit more. I would also say perhaps somebody like Shazam has definitely gotten more popular as well over the years. Not exactly the most high profile, but I think has gotten more love as more DC properties are seeing the light of day. Definitely think that has gotten more love. I would also give a lot of shout out to The Shadow. Oh, The Shadow is so good. Absolutely amazing. Not really one a lot of people gravitate towards, but it's really fantastic. I wish they would do more movies of The Shadow. This was a really fantastic one. Of course, the Suicide Squad. Not exactly heroes, but they're a wild bunch, folks. They really are, man. I mean, Watchmen, obviously, it's much, much more popular, but, not as popular as, say, Superman or Batman or anything, but it was really appreciated finally getting to watch this on the big screen. So absolutely amazing, and really gave me a new appreciation for it that I had never really found before. Really dug that. Of course, if there's any, and I mean any underrated comic book superhero, or well, I should say superhuman character, the first superhero of New Jersey, and honestly, might be the only one, folks, and that is the Toxic Avenger. Toxie himself. Oh man. Goddamn, do I love this fucking movie. Jesus Christ. Oh, this is so good, man. I mean, technically, Toxic Avenger and the Awakener have a lot in common. I mean, they are going up against corrupt politicians and criminals and people taking over their city and trying to clean up the mess the best way they possibly can. One uses martial arts and guns, the other uses a mop. Yeah, I'd say it works. Oh, Lord, so great, man. If you've never seen The Toxic Avenger, it's a wild movie, man. Absolutely wild. I don't know if you could, well, I say I don't know if you could make that movie nowadays, but they are actually remaking the damn thing. I'll be very curious to see how that turns out, but nothing really beats the original, folks. Nothing really does, man. Oh, so good. So there is some ones that are finally getting their due in a big, bad way. That is for damn sure, man. And so I kind of look at the Awakener and say, maybe it's time for this one too, I mean, not everyone has to wear a cape and have superhuman powers. Sometimes they're more vigilantes just looking for justice in their own unique way. Not half bad, man. You can either be Dirty Harry or you can be the Awakener. Well, not Clint, so I might as well put on the mask and kick a little ass. Not saying I'm trained or anything, but, maybe I can kick a few shins. It's a start. So, my girlfriend and I were looking for a vacation getaway. We're hoping to find one that's remote, out of the way, very secluded, with a very psychotic owner. We're hoping she doesn't kill us as long as we give a good review. Well, that's easier said than done. As long as she fixes the toilet. With the Shed Original Superhost. Oh, don't forget to like and survive. years. oh, oh, damn, this chick definitely looks psychotic. Oh my god. Do I really gotta rent from her? Oh, if there's nothing else around and I can't get a Motel 6. Sure. Right. Oh, man. Oh, let's dive in, shall we? Teddy and Claire are vacation home travel vloggers. Oh, yeah, don't say. Who run a channel called Superhost. And until recently had become successful doing it with a dwindling subscriber count. They must get more creative with their content. Cue Rebecca, the host of their most recent trip, who seems to have a few screws loose. Oh, you don't say. Really? Huh. But as Eddie and Claire investigate Rebecca's past, they unlock a horrifying truth and discover that she'll do whatever it takes to get a good review. I swear, no matter what happens, you'll get the good review. I'm okay with the blood and the gore and all the dead bodies around. You'll get the good review, I swear, sweetie. Oh, man. So, I got a chance to watch this on Amazon Prime, and I wanted to watch it. I kind of like the idea behind it, but yet I was hesitant at the same time because it's Shudder, right? And Shudder, to me, is sort of a love-hate relationship at this point, because on one hand, there's some great movies that I really dig, and then there's a lot of movies where I'm like, God, it kind of apes off of way better films, but it doesn't do half as good of a job as the other ones, and just kind of feels like it's a waste of time sometimes watching their stuff. But then again, there's moments where I watch a certain thing and I'm kind of blown away by it, so I still give it a chance. Hesitantly, I have to admit. But I wanted to give this one a little bit of a chance, a little bit of an opportunity, and I thought at moments it was clever. I thought at moments it was kind of fun, but yet at moments I was like, this is really predictable. I can see everything coming a mile away. I know where it's going. It's not surprising me in the least bit. The performances are kind of okay. I mean, especially from the main psychotic chick. I think she, out of all of them, is the best. I mean, you are immediately creeped out by her. You don't know what the fuck this chick's deal is. But you just know that you do not want to give a bad review to this chick, because if anything, you actually want to actually leave in one piece. So you're like, whatever I do, yeah, that good review. Like, yeah. you know. But then again, the other main couple there, you don't really honestly care for them. And I think that's the ultimate problem with the movie, is that they're supposed to be this likable couple that do YouTube for a living, right? They do the YouTube stuff, and you're supposed to care for them, but maybe the guy, but the chick is a complete bitch. I mean, I'm serious. Because all the while, this dude wants to propose to her, right? He's got the ring, and he's kind of, along with doing the video, he's doing another video of like, hey, I'm gonna propose to her, and I really feel this is important. And at every opportunity when they're at this place, he's trying to make it special for her. He's trying to make it something that is like, okay, this is gonna be a really great time and get to propose to her, and I love her. But she comes off as a stone cold bitch at every opportunity, man. I mean, she's always talking about, well, we lost so many subscribers and our content is not as good and we need to do better content, and she's just completely killing the vibe. And I kind of feel bad for the dude, because all he wants to do is profess his love for her and want to marry her, and this chick is kind of killing it. And it sucks, because you're thinking of like, dude, you could get a much better chick. Like, I know you love her, and I know you've been with her for a long time, but it kind of feels like all she cares about is the YouTube stuff. And honestly, if you're not getting a lot of views, I don't think she really gives a shit about you. And that's a damn shame. And so at the end of the day, I'm like, dude, if you're with this bitch and you can't see the telltale signs that she doesn't really give a shit, that's on you, bro. So you're stuck in a bad situation and it's about to get even worse, man. Yeah, I couldn't get into those people. I mean, this chick, she's great. And she's a really great psychotic host that I just really love, man. And there are certain movies where renting from people, yeah, didn't end up helping nobody. I mean, I'm serious, man. There's some really great psychotic people out there that you want to make sure that you stay away from. For instance, and oh, of course, I have to be real because this dude is creepy just on its own. Renting from the dude, yeah, that might be even worse. And that is, oh, Crawl Space. Oh, I love Crawl Space. Man, Klaus Kinski, man, that dude is one creepy motherfucker. He truly is. Renters beware. Yeah, no shit, man. Oh, so good, dude. This guy, he comes off kind of nice and maybe a little naive, and then once you're in there, he is such a creepazoid in the biggest, baddest way. I mean, he's crawling through fucking vents. He's got people. I mean, this guy will do anything for his tenants, even kill. Oh, so good, creepy as fuck, man. So fantastic. Love that one so much. However, as creepy as he is, even though you definitely don't want to run from him, oh, this one you definitely don't want to run from either. Because honestly, make the wrong move, say something bad about his mother, and you might be next. Oh, Psycho. Oh, I love Norman motherfucking Bates, man. God, I think Norman Bates is probably one of my favorite horror villains of all time. And I'm really serious, man, because there's something about this dude that is so pure yet demented at the same time, man, because he has such a love for his mother, but in a really twisted, psychotic way. And I love him dressing up and then, sort of coming back to reality as Norman, like, oh my god, mother. It's so fantastic, and I remember watching it for the first time and just blown away by it. Love it so much, man. So good. I mean, no matter whether you get the standard edition, steelbook, you name it, Psycho is amazing. And I gotta give a little bit of love, honestly, to the sequels, because I think Psycho 2 is fucking brilliant. I love Psycho 2. Psycho 3 is just pure fun. I mean, he's having a great time with this role and just living it up. And I gotta give a lot of love to Psycho 4, man. Honestly, I'm not the hugest fan of prequels, but Psycho 4 might be one of my favorite prequels of all time. It truly is, because I just love diving into Norman's past and the psychology of it. And I think this movie is really underrated. I really dig this one a lot, man. Really, really fantastic. So, whether you rent from any one of these people, honestly, you're better off just doing Netflix and chill, folks. I mean, seriously, you are. Like I said, I I appreciate the story. I appreciate the crazy chick, and it is a kind of a slow burn of a movie because it just gets more weird, and it slowly ends up diving into being like this great horror flick towards the end of the movie when finally like the bodies start hitting the floor and she goes really crazy and blood is spurting all over the place. But it takes a long time to get there, and being with these YouTubers, especially them being kind of annoying, doesn't exactly help either. It kind of sucks, man. The ending is really great, but to get there is kind of a slog at the same time. And here's really the thing about it, man, is I'm kind of happy that these people are at least, running for their lives and trying to be killed, because I love doing YouTube, and YouTube is really amazing, but I got to admit that there's a lot of YouTubers out there, these family vloggers, these couple vloggers. It's all bullshit, folks, and I'm dead serious, man. It's complete and utter bullshit, because they make videos, and you watch them and you feel like you're a part of their daily lives and you're with them and you're living their life. But that's not entirely true, because they only show you what they want to show you. And the idea that you're only seeing a small snippet of their life But honestly, it's edited, it's manufactured, and at a certain point, you're meant to see what they want you to see, and you don't see the whole picture of their life. It's the same thing as reality TV. You think you're seeing something real, these people being, real people with real situations and real drama. It's all manufactured and fake. Sorry, but it is the truth, man. And sometimes those people really annoy the shit out of me. So that was kind of fun to see. But I also appreciate the idea that there's even a little bit of found footage here as well, because being the whole YouTube thing and the idea of found footage and the videos themselves and editing them and what's real and what's not. I mean, that's a part of it too. I do love found footage. I mean, Cloverfield, The Last Broadcast, movies like the Poughkeepsie tapes, obviously Blair Witch. That genre has kind of shifted and changed over the years, and now with YouTube, I think it's harder to do found footage, but at times you can still pull it off if you do something really clever. I'm not saying this is clever. It's got moments of psychotic slasher. It's got moments of obviously creeping and even a sense of claustrophobia of, oh my God, I'm trapped in this place and how do I get out? How do I survive? And a little bit of found footage. It's a little bit of everything sort of mashed up together, but it doesn't really come together the way I want. And to be honest with you, this chick is great and she's well worth watching the movie for. But again, you really only get to the good stuff towards the end. If you're okay with that, this might be a pleasant surprise. If you want to wade through, over an hour of a lot of like YouTube couple bullshit, then have at it. But honestly, you could just watch YouTube for that shit. I mean, seriously, you really could. It's good to see a annoying YouTube couple trying to get slashed to pieces. That alone was worth the price of admission. Actually, you want to know what? Okay, maybe it was worth it. Just a little bit. So let's say that you could pay to hunt down Bruce Willis. Would you? Well, I kind of would. Especially nowadays, because ain't gonna lie, that motherfucker deserves it. Oh, Jesus. With Apex. Neil McDonough, Bruce Willis, the hunters will be hunted. Oh, and I kind of feel like I need to be hunted after watching this fucking movie. Oh, shit. Oh, the price for freedom may be his life. Honestly, the price for my freedom might have ended after I watched this goddamn movie. Oh, son of a bitch. Jesus Christ. I watched this on Amazon Prime, okay? And again, I don't know why the fuck I'm watching these movies. I really don't, man. I just keep giving Bruce Willis every fucking opportunity in the world to prove me wrong, man. I'm like, okay, maybe this one he'll give a shit in, right? I mean, he didn't give a shit in the last, like, 10 of them. But this one will clearly be different, right? Right? Oh, come on, man. Jesus, please. Oh, son of a bitch. So I'm like, hey, one more from Bruce Willis isn't gonna hurt, right? Oh, jeez, I hope so. Oh, I doubt it. Oh, man. Serving life sentence for a crime he didn't commit, ex-cop Thomas Malone is offered a chance at freedom if he can survive a deadly game of Apex. 6 hunters pay for the pleasure of hunting another human on a remote island, but once Malone arrives, all hell breaks loose. Laying traps and playing mind games, Malone tries to turn the tables and fight for his life and his future. Good luck. I kind of feel like the movie is actually hunting the fucking viewers at this point instead of the other way around. Ah, son of a bitch. Oh, jeez. So yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it, right? Bruce Willis is on the run, and these people have to hunt him down, and he has to survive. All right, cool, fair enough. And honestly, that genre is nothing new. We've seen survival horror, survival action before. You see something like Battle Royale or The Hunger Games. And of course, there's The Running Man and a lot of really, really great movies out there that have really taken the idea of surviving in the wild against people who are going to attack you and spinning it into something unique and interesting. Now, I can't say that Apex really resembles a lot of those movies, maybe certain elements. The one that it really reminds me of more than anything else, I would say, is probably the closest one that it comes to, is easily, I'd say, The Hunt. I think it definitely resembles The Hunt in a big bad way, man. I mean, the premise is almost really similar in a lot of aspects. Obviously, humans hunting humans, this remote area, and basically only certain weapons and stuff to survive. It definitely has much more of a Hunt feel. And I got to admit, I really love this movie. It's not for everybody, and there's a lot of people that don't really like this flick. I happen to really enjoy it. I love the humor to it. I love the kills. I love the quirky characters. And the action is pretty damn cool as well. I really dig this film, man. I think it's really, really fun and pretty goddamn kick ass, man. I wasn't expecting the world out of it. I got exactly what I wanted, and I was pretty damn happy with it, man. Can't say a lot of these survival action horror flicks are always the best or as well done as they should be, but The Hunt was a really great surprise, man. A really, really wonderful surprise that I really dig, man. So here I am thinking like, hey, yeah, it's gonna be just like The Hunt. Jesus, what the fuck was I thinking? Seriously, this is like a low rent The Hunt. Like really a really cheapo The Hunt. Like really cheap. I mean, there's moments that it kind of is cool. It takes this kind of sci-fi bend of, being on this remote island and these, millionaires and billionaires, trillionaires who are hunting prey, and the idea that it's almost played out like a video game, right? Because they get to buy certain things, through this sort of computer holographic service and whatnot, and that's cool. It has sort of that sci-fi bend to it, But then again, it's got Bruce Willis in it, so I already kind of knew I was fucking screwed to begin with. Seriously, man. And I hate to say it, but it really is the truth because, yeah, that's a cool idea behind it, but it's never done in a really great, exciting way. Even the characters come off as mundane. I mean, some of them are like, like they come off like really crazy and overdone, like over the top psychotic, where you're like, tone it down just a little. And then there's other characters that are so milquetoast and boring, you're like, can you amp it up a little bit? Like, there's really never any great middle ground here. And you're like, God, I just wish somebody could actually fucking do it well enough where I feel intensity, where I feel danger, where I feel terror. I'm just really feeling like this is a complete waste of my fucking time. Hell, even Neil McDonough doesn't get spared with this because he's supposed to be the most dangerous of them all, right? He's silent but deadly. And he comes across as this guy that has this quiet intensity to him, that he's somebody that is very manipulating and conniving and unpredictable, I would say. And you never really know where he's going to go next or what he's going to do. And it just kind of comes off as kind of mundane. And you're just sitting there like, dude, I'm hearing that you're this badass motherfucker. Can you just do something, please? And that's the whole fucking movie because all these characters are doing is talking constantly. They're just talking about what they're going to do to other people and how they're going to plan the hunt and so on and so forth. And all I'm hearing is like talking and more talking and more talking. Can we get to the action? But then again, when the action happens, you barely get to see anything. It's really cheapo. It's not really well choreographed or even shot all that well. And it's over so quick that then they're just back to talking again. And I'm like, fuck it, fine. Just fucking talk my head off. I'll probably kill myself at this point. I mean, hell, it might as well be better than you killing my ass. God damn it, man. I mean, it was just an absolute bore. I'm just sitting there thinking to myself, like, man, could we get anything exciting? But then when the exciting things happen, I'm like, well, it's not all that exciting. I mean, what the fuck? I mean, there's a moment where Neil McDonough, he ends up purchasing all of these other hunters to come and sort of get Bruce Willis out of his hiding spot, right? And all these other hunters and everything, they end up coming through these portals to go after Bruce Willis. And it's like a fucking comedy sketch because these badass motherfuckers are instantly taken out in like a second. And they're supposed to be the best of the best. And I'm like, what? Like, you can't hit the broadside of a barn? You seriously can't hit Bruce Willis? He's not that hard of a target, motherfucker. Maybe back in the day as John motherfucking McClane, but now, man, if you can't hit his bald head, man, there's something wrong with your ass. Seriously. God damn, dude. I mean, it just comes off as just a bore fest. And that's a real fucking shame, dude, because this premise could have been done really cool. It could have been amped up like The Hunt or something like Battle Royale. Really given a certain amount of danger and intensity to it that really gets you on the edge of your seat. But honestly, you might fall asleep at this shit instead of actually being on the edge of your seat. Well, you could be on the edge of your seat, probably ready to faceplant into your cereal because honestly, you'd be that fucking bored with this piece of shit. Oh, man. Ah, it really is that fucking bad, dude. And I guess we gotta talk about Bruce Willis, right? Because Bruce... Oh, man. What the fuck, Bruce? Seriously? This fucking guy, man. I mean, okay, look. I gotta admit, I'm like right up to here, dude. I'm almost done. I'm almost fucking done with Bruce. I really am, man, because he just comes off as very matter of fact, just sort of kind of like there and doesn't really give a shit anymore. I mean, it's been going on for a long while, man. It truly has. And in this film, I actually kind of think, truth be told, he is a little bit better here than he has been before. There is moments where I thought to myself, he kind of is trying, but then there's other moments where I'm like, dude, this guy, you know he's only here for the fucking paycheck. Once they ended up actually giving him the check, once it cleared and didn't bounce, he was like, yeah, I guess we're supposed to do this, right? I mean, something like that. Fuck, man. Jesus Christ, dude. I'm like, are you serious? And there's one point in the movie where he's talking to this dude, and he's like, I'm that good. I'm like bacon and eggs on a Sunday morning. And I'm like, fuck you, Bruce. Fuck you, motherfucker. You piece of shit. Are you serious? You are really comparing yourself to breakfast and eggs in Sunday morning style? You son of a bitch. Seriously? You are not bacon and eggs on a Sunday morning that good, motherfucker. You are not. You haven't been that good in a long time, you piece of shit. Let's be real. Let's be honest with ourselves, man. You are not that fucking good anymore, dude. You used to be good. I used to like you so much. In fact, everybody did. You were the tits, man. You truly were. And then somewhere along the lines, you just didn't give a shit anymore. I mean, it's really true. I mean, maybe you finally snapped when you realized that Ashton Kutcher was fucking your ex-wife. I mean, maybe. Well, honestly, I would be too if I was in that situation. So I can't quite blame you, Bruce. But I mean, come on, snap out of it, motherfucker. Please. Snap out of it, will ya? Goddamn, man. I mean, I used to really dig you a lot. I mean, you had some really great, amazing, underrated performances that I really loved. Like Color of Night. God, I love Color of Night. This is a really great fucking movie, man. A really great sort of action mystery thriller that I really love, man. Bruce is awesome in this flick. Really great, sexy thriller. So fantastic of a movie. I really love that. Of course, you also go to very popular stuff as well that is really amazing. Like, of course, I gotta give a lot of love to Pulp Fiction. It's fucking amazing. He's fantastic in the film. He's so fucking amazing and kick-ass. He's Bruce motherfucking Willis, dude. He's really amazing. Even as of recent, I would say that I really dug him in a movie like Death Wish, which I thought he was actually pretty fucking brilliant in Death Wish. I liked his role in that. I thought Eli Roth did a really great job directing this remake. I went into this movie thinking, man, a remake to Death Wish? How good is this fucking thing really gonna be? And honestly, it surprised the absolute hell out of me. He's actually really good in this flick. So I'm like, even as recent as this, he was good. But somewhere along the line, he just didn't give a shit, man. I mean, I love movies like Unbreakable. I think that's really amazing. Of course, motherfucking Die Hard. Come on, man. Absolutely fantastic. But I don't know. I mean, I even look at a movie like Glass, right? I look at Glass and I'm like, if you really look at that movie, there's moments where Bruce Willis doesn't really give a shit, man. I mean, M. Night is getting the best he possibly can, but other people are really picking up the slack for Bruce in a big bad way. And I just don't know. I mean, I've seen so many of these straight to DVD and Blu-ray flicks that Bruce has done, and I just think he's just stopped giving a shit. He's done. He's over with, man. And he ain't coming back. That's not to say that he can't. I mean, look at Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage was doing bottom of the barrel dog shit. And he actually kind of got out of it. He rose from the muck, so to speak. And he's making some pretty cool stuff nowadays. So it's not like you can't come out of it. You can, but some really great actors are unfortunately now doing this kind of crap. I mean, John Cusack does it now, Bruce Willis, and many others. I just don't know whether Hollywood doesn't want to work with him. I mean, I've heard Bruce Willis is really difficult to work with. I've heard that for many years. I mean, Kevin Smith has had stories about working with the dude, man. Hilarious shit, but it ain't like it's false because a lot of people basically are saying, yeah, it's true. He's not an easy dude to work with. I mean, when you are a movie star, when you are high on your career, on top, so to speak, A-list star, then you can kind of get away with that shit, right? Because you're making bank, you're making money, people are watching your movies, and at a certain point, well, when no one's watching the movies anymore and you're not making the money you used to, well, those sort of antics, no one's really dealing with anymore. And honestly, no one wants to deal with your bullshit. And so you get relegated to this shit. But then you still think you're the shit, right? Because I'm Bruce motherfucking Willis. Yeah, you are, but you're sort of trading off of your old shit from back in the day. What new shit do you really got that's really half as good as the old shit? Not much. I'm just being real, man. I mean, I love Bruce and I still give him opportunities because I remember the good old times. But at a certain point, I'm walking away, baby. I really am. I don't know how much more I can really take of this shit. I don't know, dude. Bruce, you gotta come back to your old self. You gotta do something. I don't know, grow more hair on your head. Stop thinking about Ashton Kutcher fucking Demi Moore and just move on, brother, please. Because honestly, if I have to do more of this, I think I'm gonna go bald. And honestly, me looking bald, even somewhat resembling you, man, that's gonna put me in a really, really depressive state. And I already got problems of my own, buddy. Sorry. I really do. Oh, fuck, man. Oh, Lord. The hits just keep on coming for Bruce. I can't wait for the next. Hey. Oh, Lord. Oh, man. This pile definitely was a winner. Well, not all of them, but I suppose some of them. Oh, man. Well, it was intriguing to say the least. But then again, Walmart is always interesting one way or another. Bloody Mary. Bloody Mary. Bloody. You know what, guys? I probably shouldn't say it again because I really don't want her coming after my ass. Because, sorry, honey, I only got eyes for my girlfriend. You know what? It's really nice to see a superhero go up against corrupt politicians and evil criminals, but I kind of wish we had one in real life. We kind of need it. Just saying. Bueller? You know what? In your vacation getaway, always, and I mean always, give a good rating. I know you're upset about the dead bodies and all the blood and gore all over the place, but at least you fixed the toilet. And I can't. I can't. I can't. I can't do it anymore, Bruce. I can't. I'm sorry, man. Oh, Lord, I'm sorry, dude. I was gonna get you a Valentine's Day card. I really was, man. And, dude, you're off the Valentine's Day card list. Fuck, you really are, man. I just can't do this anymore. I mean, you really need Viagra, man, for your career. You really do. And even with Viagra, it might not even help. You still might not even be able to get it up. Oh, fuck, man. Jesus Christ. Oh, what the hell? Jesus Christ, what the hell, man? Oh, God, the Walmart weirdness and bizarreness and the disappointments were definitely on display. Oh, man, in a big, bad motherfucking way. Good Lord, man. Oh, this stack definitely had some mileage. I don't know how much of it, but it had something. Oh, Lord. Oh my God, man. Oh, the good, the bad, the ugly, the Walmart weird. Oh, man, we definitely get it all, whether we like it or not. Oh, man, we definitely do. Lord, it's been an adventure so far. You definitely got to admit that one. But, hey, there is one more location to go to, so hopefully more physical media love and less Bruce Willis ahead. All right, everybody. We are at our fourth and final location. And with all the physical media goodness we're checking out this week, perhaps we saved the best for last? Maybe. Because you never quite know until you enter into a little beast action. So you definitely know where we are at, baby. We are at none other than the Beast Best Buy, baby. Oh, yes, indeed. And like I said, it has been really good for physical media. Every store has had some unique stuff worth checking out. But what about Best Buy? We've had good weeks, we've had bad weeks. You never quite know until you head inside. So how about we go in and hopefully see some physical media gold? All right, everybody, we are in at Best Buy under the new releases, and it looks a little spotty, some empty areas, but that doesn't mean that there isn't a little physical media love we're checking out, because there definitely is, because we got a little Resident Evil action. Welcome to Raccoon City. The Blu-ray digital for $22.99, the 4K for $23.99. Wait a second, so there's only $1 difference between the Blu-ray and the 4K? You never see that. I mean, if it's only $1, you might as well just get the 4K, right? Makes sense. Well, it would if it was any other movie except for this one. Yeah, that's true, man. Look, I'm gonna be real, man. I mean, this movie is bunched in with a long line of terrible video game-based adaptation movies. Oh my God, it really is. Add another one to the pile, and it's a really large fucking pile, man. It truly is, dude. Oh my God, and it gets larger every fucking year, I swear, man. I mean, there's some that kind of get a bad rap that I actually really like Super Mario Brothers. I really like Super Mario Brothers, man. I really do. It is cheesy as shit, and yes, it is nothing like the game, okay? I will be very real there. But I kind of have a soft spot for it in my heart. Mind you, I watched it when I was a kid, so maybe I'm kind of biased a little bit. I mean, I love the original Street Fighter with Jean-Claude. I think that's really good, man. Again, cheesy as shit, but I happen to like it, man. Hell, I'll even go to bat for House of the Dead. Yes, U-Bowl's House of the motherfucking Dead, man. Okay, I recognize that is a terrible movie. Okay, I will freely admit that shit, okay? It is bad in every fucking aspect, dude. But there's something about the cheesiness and the B-movie quality that I kind of appreciate. I don't know, it's kind of got a certain level of charm to it. Shoddy, cheapo charm, fair enough, but still a little bit of charm that I kind of dig. I know, I'm so in the minority of that shit, man. I am really in the minority there, but I kind of dig it. I mean, yes, there's the popular ones, like the original Mortal Kombat, which is absolutely fucking amazing. I would even put the first Resident Evil in there as a really good, solid video game-based adaptation movie. I truly would. There is some good ones out there. Sonic the Hedgehog, another one, truly solid. Then again, there is a lot of bad ones. Dead or Alive, Postal. Have you ever seen Postal, man? That's another one of those U-Bowl specials. It's a real piece of shit. I mean, that's really bad. I mean, you've also got Street Fighter: The Legend of Chun-Li, which is a real piece of shit. Mortal Kombat Annihilation, which is absolute garbage. Rampage with The Rock, which honestly, not a great movie, all things considered. It's got moments, but not really absolutely wonderful either. Silent Hill Revelation, anybody? I mean, the first Silent Hill, I actually think is really great. The second one, oof, man, that was a major step down. I mean, Need for Speed as well. I mean, I like Michael Keaton in it. Outside of that, not much to really praise. I mean, some people would even say that Wing Commander is not a really good adaptation. And yeah, it's kind of one of the lesser ones, but I actually kind of like it. Matthew Lillard's kind of fun in it. Freddie Prinze Jr. Yeah, he's got not much of a personality in the movie, but it has its moments. Cheesy sci-fi goodness. Yeah, it's not high on anybody's list, folks. It really isn't, man. But there is some bright spots within the video game-based movie genre, but Resident Evil hasn't exactly had it easy or really being among the top tier of the pile, more on the bottom tier. I mean, outside of that first movie, the other sequels really suck ass. Most of them do, outside of certain moments. It just doesn't really feel like Resident Evil is great adaptation material. I mean, that's not entirely true because Resident Evil has a lot of great cinematic qualities to it in the game that could make it great material, but I think it's hard to really capture it, and I don't think any filmmaker truly 100% has yet, and this is another example of that. Great material to ape off of, I mean, nightmarish qualities, especially when you play the game, but I just don't think it really has been translated successfully onto the screen. I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, maybe in the future they'll reboot it yet again. I mean, with all of these properties, money talks, bullshit walks, and if there's any money to be made, potentially they're gonna cram it down our throats even more. And Resident Evil, hate to say it, is probably gonna be one of those properties that's gonna be made over and over and over again until it's a rotting corpse, like in the movie. Yeah, pretty much, guys. You got replicating the DNA, cops, corpses, and chaos, zombies, liquors, and the horrors of Resident Evil. I mean, they got some good special features here, some cool, great horror designs to it. It definitely feels at moments like Resident Evil, but it can't capture Resident Evil. And that's the problem, man. I just feel like better luck next time. There's certain adaptations that really do it well, and then there's a lot of video game-based movies that actually don't do it well. Some succeed better than others, folks. And Resident Evil proves that sometimes with certain adaptations, you're going to have to go to the well over and over and over again. And, well, better luck next time. And in the middle of one new release section and the other happens to be a little Encanto love. The Blu-ray DVD digital for $24.99, the 4K Blu-ray digital for $29.99, and oh, what do we have here? A little only at Best Buy exclusive goodness, 4K Blu-ray digital for $34.99. Oh, look at this. Oh, the House of Magic and Mystery and Love and Family. Oh, look at that. It's a place I'd love to live in. Maybe you can give me a little bit of magical powers. Maybe to conjure up physical media love. Now that's a power I definitely dig. Oh, look at that. And on the inside, not half bad either. Oh, that's pretty nice. Nice. Some Best Buy exclusive steelbook goodness. Can't say I'm always here for it because this shit sells out fast. But I'm glad I got to see it. Not bad. Looks pretty cool, man. I kind of dig this cover, though, a little bit better with all the family on there more than this. I mean, it's cool to see the house, and I like it, and it's a cool design, don't get me wrong. But this design, I like better. I just do. It just speaks to me a little bit more than this one does. But still, not bad, all things considered. Pretty good for the most part, man. Not bad at all, man. And I gotta say, you know, I shit on Disney a lot. They're a greedy company. They're only in it for the money. They fucked over Star Wars. I mean, we could end up really going over all of the missteps that Disney has done over the years. And trust me, it is plenty. Very, very plentiful indeed. All the screw-ups. But you got to admit that the animation stuff that they've done has been pretty killer, hasn't it? I mean, if they've dropped off in quality in any way, it's more of the live action stuff than it ever has been the animation. I mean, they really have gone out of their way to make some really amazing animated material still to this day. I mean, some of it speaks to me more than others, to be fair, but they still hit it out of the park really well, man. I mean, the old school stuff that I consider classic, even the new school stuff, Big Hero 6 was great, and Bolt is amazing. Inside Out, Zootopia, Frozen, Wrong's Gone Wrong. I gotta admit, man, they really have been hitting it out of the park as of late. And their animation is just that damn good. That's why they're like the top tier. Nobody can fucking beat them, because they pretty much got the market for themselves. I mean, yes, there is competition out there, but come on, Disney corners the market. Disney owns the market. Seriously, there's competition, but it's miles behind them. They really are, man. I gotta give them a lot of credit with their animated stuff, man. And I can't wait for Turning Red, which I think looks really good. Lightyear, which I'm kind of iffy about, but I think it could be a pleasant surprise. Look, at the end of the day, I think Disney lags on a lot of things. I think we can all agree that Disney literally ends up screwing up more often than they actually succeed. But Disney has always been on their game when it came to animated movies. I mean, it was Walt Disney's specialty back in the day, the animation, and making it absolutely pristine and magical and a great story for the kids, and he really built the empire on these animated movies. Mickey Mouse, for God's sakes. I mean, so whatever you think of Disney, right? Good, bad, ugly, and trust me, there's a lot to be said. You can't deny that they really are amazing when it comes to the animated films, and Encanto proves it yet again. It really honestly does. Very amazing, man. Truly, honestly is. I mean, you get Journey to Columbia. Let's talk about Bruno, which is great. I love that song. And yeah, there's a few interesting special features, but honestly, the movie is just something to be experienced. With the colors and the vibrant songs and the unique characters, it's just something that the whole family would enjoy, and it's just something that really reminds you of the magic of Disney and how great Disney can be when you see something like this and it brings you back to the old school days of why you love Disney in the first place. Encanto is just that damn good. And on the other side of the new release love, well, first of all, I gotta say, thank God they got more stock into Venom, right? I mean, this was been empty for so freaking long. So finally, all your Venom needs can be met yet again. But why do they really need to be? Hell, we eat up anything Spider-Man nowadays, and so have at it, folks. More love for all you Spider-Man fanatics out there. Just wait until No Way Home comes out. Seriously, so much better. So much better, man. They also have a little bit more stock of Requiem for a Dream steelbook. Not bad. Ah, yes. Street Fighter love. Speaking of one of my favorite video game adaptations of all time. Oh, man, Raul Julia and Bison. That was the shit, man. I love that stuff so much. So friggin' cool. Oh, it's so great, dude. Great fucking movie. Cheesy as hell, like I said, but I have a warm spot in my heart for it, ain't gonna lie. Oh, some nice stuff, man. Wolf of Wall Street. Actually, Free Guy, another really great video game-based movie. Not based off of a video game, but so much better than some of those video game-based adaptations anyways. And way better than Resident Evil, that's for damn sure. They got that love, but they also have a little bit of Catwoman love. Ah, yes, the Blu-ray digital of Catwoman Hunted for $24.99. The 4K Blu-ray digital for, well, there's actually no price for it on here, man. I'm assuming it's a few dollars more, but your guess is as good as mine, man. Literally, nada, nothing, zippo, zilch. Man, maybe it's free. If it is, I could just take a cop. No. If I only wish. It's some kind of price. Again, not a damn clue, man. But regardless of whether you get the standard Blu-ray or the standard 4K, they also have a little bit of Steelbook love. Oh, the 4K Blu-ray digital Steelbook Best Buy exclusive for $34.99. And this is a really great cover. I mean, I like this cover, don't get me wrong. But this is a really cool Steelbook, man. I like when they do something a little bit different with the DC animated Steelbooks. What they do a lot of times is just do the same actual cover, but in Steelbook form. I like when they do something a little bit out of the ordinary, and I like this. I like it very much burglar-esque, like with the Catwoman suit and the diamond. I like that look. I think it's a really great Steelbook, actually. Great design on it. I really dig that. That is pretty cool, man. Not bad at all. Very sweet. And I gotta admit, I do have a soft spot as well for Catwoman. I do, man. Especially over the years, I've seen so many different adaptations of the perfect loving lady Feline. Like, I've definitely enjoyed her quite a bit, man. I mean, the old school Batman live action TV show, Julie Newmar, was absolutely fantastic. I gotta give a lot of love to Eartha Kitt. Eartha Kitt was amazing in the role, man. Brought something really different to it than Julie Newmar did. I appreciate both. Eartha Kitt was fantastic, though. Really was. Give her a lot of props, man. And I suppose I do kind of dig the Anne Hathaway version from Dark Knight Rises. I mean, I don't love it, but it's not terrible either. I just think they kind of underdeveloped the character quite a bit, and I don't think that they really did that character as much justice as I wanted it to. But overall, Anne Hathaway didn't do a bad job, all things considered. I will say, though, Anne Hathaway is so much better than Halle Berry. Oh, my God. That Catwoman movie, man. I mean, seriously, talk about one of the worst Catwoman adaptations ever. One of the worst comic book movie adaptations ever. Oh, my God, that movie is so terrible, man. I mean, when your villain is Sharon Stone... What? Seriously? Oh, my God. Okay. Sure, I guess we'll go with it. I mean, you know... Maybe Sharon Stone will cross her legs and maybe Catwoman will get hypnotized by that. God, I hope not. Oh my God. Oh, Jesus Christ. Look, it was a real piece of garbage, man. From the CGI to the character development to the story. Everything was so terrible in that movie, man. I mean, it's a textbook example of how not to do a good adaptation of a comic book. It so is. How did they fuck it up so badly? My God, man. I am still perplexed by how that movie ever got made, or even how it ever ended up being that bad. Oof, man. But my favorite adaptation of Catwoman ever, and I mean ever, Michelle motherfucking Pfeiffer. Oh my God, Batman Returns. That is the best, as far as I'm concerned, the best Catwoman ever. It was really absolutely phenomenal. I love her in the role. I love how demented Tim Burton went with it. And I love how Michelle Pfeiffer was so game for the role. So great, whether it's the skin-tight leather outfit, which I thought was so sexy. I thought it was so good, man. To her just psychotic nature. That whole scene where she gets bit by the cats and her eyes are rolling back and she's sort of turning over to the dark side, I was like, oh, this is so good. I thought it was great, man. And Michelle Pfeiffer hit it out of the park, and I still think to this day that nobody, animated or live action, has ever really beaten the Michelle Pfeiffer version. I truly do believe that, man. I mean, it is so fucking good, man. I mean, yes, we are getting another Catwoman this year in Zoe Kravitz in the Batman, and I am very interested to see where that goes. But I do really like Catwoman, and I like how you could do different adaptations of it, but still have the same spirit of the character. Well, mine is Halle Berry, but you can't win them all, folks. I mean, look, this movie has a great charm to it, a great sort of cat and mouse quirky nature that I really appreciated, tongue-in-cheek quality. I really did dig this one a lot, man, and it just proves that, yes, Catwoman can be a sidekick at times, but honestly, she's way more than just a damsel in distress. She's way more than a side chick. She is such a really great character with really great dimensions to her that she's just not this one-note chick. There's so much more to her, so much more complex. And it's movies like this that really kind of open that up in very interesting ways. I definitely appreciate this movie a lot, man. I mean, you do get when the hunter becomes a hunted, and Catwoman, the feline femme fatale. Oh, yeah. I just really love Catwoman, man. It's just a really great female character, female empowerment, and she can go toe-to-toe with any male counterpart any day of the week. Watch out, Batman. You have some competition, and she can definitely whoop your bat-loving ass. Oh, she definitely can, man. Not bad at all, man. Great steelbook love, man. Very, very cool. Not bad at all. Some really good releases so far. Definitely digging it. I wonder what else they might have. And on the backside, a little bit of physical media to behold, such as the DVD of Summer of Soul for $14.99. Oh, yes. Oh, man. Like I said, it looks pretty cool to me. It really does. And I love these artists. Stevie Wonder, Nina Simone, Sly and the Family Stone, Gladys Knight and the Pips, B.B. King, Fifth Dimension. I mean, I am a big, diverse music lover. I really am, man. I mean, I'm diverse when it comes to movies, but probably music even more so. I have Sirius XM in my car, and I listen to a lot of stuff way back in the day. I listened to 70s, 60s, hell, I even listened to 50s style music, man. I got a lot of that variety from my mother, who was very diverse in her music quality. So was my father. And growing up, I was so eclectic with my friends. We'd listen to pop, we'd listen to rock, we'd listen to metal, we'd listen to soul. We listened to so many things, and it was always kind of interesting. It's sort of a hodgepodge of music influences that I've had. Some you would think make sense, and others you'd probably look at me like, you like that? It's kind of interesting, but I've gotten my musical influences from all over the place, but I appreciate so many different types of variety of music. I can appreciate something like a B.B. King, maybe not in the same way that I love like a rap rock thing like Limp Bizkit. I mean, they're not the same. B.B. King is so much better than Limp Bizkit is, but I can appreciate both in their own unique way. Where I think other people might shun one thing over the other, I tend to appreciate it. I'm not so much into the music scene anymore. A lot of the music nowadays to me just sounds the same, or watered down, or over processed. But back in the day, with these type of artists, it felt real. It felt like it was coming from the heart, and from the body, and from the soul. It really did, man. And so this kind of documentary is right up my alley, man. It really is. Artists like that, and a festival that I knew nothing about, that definitely piques my interest. I'm definitely intrigued by this in a big bad way, man. Definitely am, man. Looks pretty cool. Really does, man. I also see they have the Blu-ray digital of Stargirl, the complete second season for $24.99, and I definitely do dig this cover in a big bad way, man. And I got to admit, I'm just intrigued by Stargirl in general and the Justice Society of America and those characters because I got to admit, I am a geek. I am a comic book loving nerd in a lot of ways, but I don't know everything, and I'll freely admit that. There's a lot of characters out there that I know zero about that I'm surprised are even created and or exist because I never knew they were around to begin with in the first place. That's why I love the Guardians of the Galaxy as much as I did, because when it came out I was like, I have no idea who the Guardians of the Galaxy was. And so going and watching the movie really intrigued me, where I wanted to go and check out the comic book stuff. And it's the same way as actually when I watched The Suicide Squad for the first time. When I watched this, I was like, I have no idea who so many of these villains are. I didn't know. I mean, I knew of the popular ones, but these are like so side ones that unless you're a really great comic book enthusiast, know your shit in a big bad way, some of these characters would really pass you by. So that always intrigues me, to really dive into characters that you really know nothing about and characters that kind of intrigue you and make you want to know more about them. And Stargirl is definitely one of them. I dug the first season, so I really liked it. So I definitely got to watch the second season. But I just love that we're finally getting a lot of these secondary characters finally coming out and really influencing the comic book world now. I mean, yes, we can always redo Superman and Batman and Captain America and all those other ones out there, but it's time to give the secondary characters a little bit of love, don't you think? I definitely do. And characters like Stargirl are pretty cool, especially for the young adult crowd. So, you know, if you want to dive into secondary character love, Stargirl is one that's probably worth diving into. All hail the king. King Richard, that is. Yes, the Blu-ray digital for $21.99. Ah, yes, man. We'll be hearing a lot more of this, obviously, for the award seasons. We absolutely are, and rightfully so. But this is not the only tennis movie out there. There is a few. Okay. To be fair, though, tennis is not exactly as plentiful in sports movie love as basketball or baseball or football or hell, even soccer. You can't even beat that, man. But tennis does have some good stuff from time to time. It's worth diving into, I think. I mean, you have Battle of the Sexes with Steve Carell, which isn't half bad. You have Borg versus McEnroe. Shia LaBeouf playing McEnroe, man. That is perfect casting, dude. That is fantastic. Not a bad movie, actually. I mean, you also have Wimbledon with Paul Bettany, which is pretty decent, more of a love story. You also have Match Point, by the way, with Scarlett Johansson. That's a pretty solid movie. I definitely dig Match Point. Probably one of my favorites, though, within the tennis sports genre. But there is one that, okay, it's not a great movie, to be fair, but I actually kind of remember it from the old school days of like VHS and my mother really loving the actor, and that is Racket from 1979 with Phil Silvers. Yes, the original Sergeant Bilko himself. It's kind of a tennis sports comedy. It's not really all that great of a movie, to be fair, but I do kind of remember it. It's a movie that is very much forgotten. I don't think anybody outside of me would probably remember that shit. But I definitely do dig it, though, man, for what it is. Not perfect, but hey, it's Phil Silvers, man. He's cool. I like Phil Silvers. So it's an alright comedy, but don't expect like amazing results or anything. It's not like the quirkiest comedy ever, and it certainly ain't the best either, but it's got its moments, I suppose. But tennis certainly doesn't get the kind of love that maybe it deserves, but I like the fact that we have a whole variety. Some are more dramatic than others. There's romance, there's comedy, and there's a little bit of true story love as well. Tennis does have some really great moments to it, a really great spirit to it, and a really great sportsmanship aspect. It's not the most exciting sport in the world, but I think if you portray it the right way, it can really have amazing storytelling possibilities. And King Richard really proves that, man. Really wonderful. I mean, just the true story alone is really worth it to dive into. Now, mind you, yes, there's a lot of truth to this movie, but maybe it's not entirely true. Yes, we weren't there for the conversations and all of the things that happened in the movie, so there might be a little bit of fiction added to it, just to sprinkle in a little more dramatic moments. But that being said, it's a wonderful story that is just amazing and really captured my attention for all of the 2.5 hours, and I really appreciate it, man. This is a movie that I hope gets a lot more love. Yes, you see the 2.5 hours. Yes, you kind of are like a little hesitant like I was, but don't be, because it's very worthwhile diving into. It really is, man. It was a great surprise. One of the great surprises of the Academy Awards season. It really was, man. It's something well worth diving into, man. I mean, you got the making of, you got Venus and Serena's set visit, deleted scenes, and you got a few things, but honestly, look, the tennis sports movie genre will never outpace football. Will never outpace basketball or baseball or soccer or maybe even rugby. I mean, probably not, guys, but it is a genre worth diving into. If you're a sports movie lover fan, give tennis movies a chance. You'll be surprised how much you might just like them. You definitely might be surprised indeed. Just give it a chance, damn it. Just do it, man. But some interesting physical media love this week. Some interesting stuff that Best Buy had. Not too shabby. Not bad at all. Definitely dug it. They definitely did their due diligence this week, I think. Let's head out. Well, what do you know? Best Buy actually kept up with the crowd. Not bad at all. Oh, not bad indeed. Okay, to be fair, I kind of was hoping for maybe just a little bit more physical media goodness from Best Buy. Just a little bit, but to be fair, we get what we get, right, guys? I mean, we can't go back to the old school Best Buy, you know, the one that had all the horror goodness and the boutique label love and all the new releases, every single one of them. Those were the good old days. I'd love to go back to it. Maybe one day I can actually build a time travel machine to do it. But that ain't happening anytime soon, so I guess we're shit out of luck, man. I guess we are, at least for the moment. But, hey, I will take what we can get, and we got pretty good. New release love, indie goodness, a little bit of steelbook action. They definitely did their due diligence. Not every week is going to be plentiful. Sometimes us physical media lovers have to really just take what we can get. But this week proved not bad for the beast, not bad at all. And I definitely appreciate all the physical media goodness that they definitely can offer week to week whenever they have it. You know what I'm saying? Not bad at all. This week was pretty darn decent, and I'll definitely take it. For sure I will. Hope you will too. But how about we head home and finish the video? Alright, everybody. That'll do it for the Blu-ray and DVD out and about video this week. And I gotta admit, it was pretty damn good this week, wasn't it? We saw a lot of release love. Okay, yes, we didn't see everything that I was hoping to see, but hey, sometimes you take the gamble, sometimes it doesn't always pay off, but this week we saw a lot of damn love for physical media, baby, and you cannot hate on it. Any physical media love is always good physical media love, and this week proves that you can have quite a plentiful week if you put out a lot of those bad boys, and they definitely did. Not bad at all, baby. Hopefully you guys picked up something good. If you did, definitely let me know. As far as I'm concerned, I got a couple things, man. Now, over at Best Buy, right, I picked up this title, and it had been a little bit since it came out, but I finally ended up picking it up, and that is none other than Malignant. Oh, yes. Oh, look at that. Perfect, baby. Now, I was really going back and forth on wanting this movie, to be fair. I was really going back on, well, maybe I wanted it, maybe I didn't. And I gotta admit, what really sort of tipped me over the edge is the later half of the movie. And just being so in love with that second half of the movie and the balls out craziness of it, and just the fact that James Wan did that. The fact that James Wan was able to do enough projects, make enough money for a studio that he said, I want to do this. And the studio said, well, you've done so much for us already, we're just going to make this because you want to make it. And he made this balls out crazy horror flick as a mainstream film. It's wild to me. It really is, man. And I really dig it. I really do for the most part. Yes, there's some things I don't like in it, especially sort of like the middle-ish section. But that being said, it's not really that ultimately big problematic, and I was able to find it with the slip in really great condition. And that was actually another thing, because I remember on release week when this came out, I was looking at all the slips and they were all messed up for some reason, man. They were all really mangled and teared up. And I was like, there's no good slips. And so this is a title that I've seen as of late that doesn't get restocked very much. If it does, I'm really only seeing maybe the DVD. I'm not seeing many Blu-rays out there anymore of this title. And so I was at Best Buy. The slip was in perfect condition. Yeah, a little bit of, crease here, crease there, but not anything, really bad damage-wise. And I was like, man, I got to get this thing, because I don't know how long it's going to be out in the market with the slip. I kind of feel like the slips are getting really mangled anyways. And a lot of these store employees, they just don't care about slip covers, so they'll take it out of a package and they'll, mangle the goddamn thing up and then put it on the shelf. And so by the time you get it, it's already messed to shit. So very happy that this thing came in great condition with the slip. I really do dig the movie, and I kind of feel that this is one of those movies where it's going to be found over time. More people are going to find it. There's going to be more people talking about it, and it will eventually be one of those cult classic style horror movies. I kind of feel that it will over time. But it's one definitely worth having in the collection, I think. And I do love James Wan, and there's a reason why he is a horror master, because he's just that damn good. Just saying, man. Finally got a little Malignant love in the collection. Not half bad, guys. And the other thing I got is from Amazon. And this was actually something that I wanted for a while now. And I've been waiting for the price to lower a bit. It was kind of fluctuating back and forth. It finally went down to about 20 bucks. And I said, I don't think it's going to go any lower. I got to get it. And that is the Blu-ray of Dear God with Greg Kinnear, man. Oh, Lord, I love this. Many people write to God. Someone is answering. Oh, indeed they are, man. I really love this movie. I love this great sort of heartwarming comedy about this guy that doesn't really give a shit and gets this sort of side job at the post office and slowly learns to care over time, answering letters to Santa and everything like that. It's so great. Greg Kinnear is so amazing in here. I think it was like his first major film role, and it was so great. I mean, he's not just great in here, everybody is. I love Laurie Metcalf from Roseanne. Tim Conway is great. Hector Elizondo. I love it. It's a great Gary Marshall film. It's not one that many people go out of their way to remember. When you think of Greg Kinnear, you probably think of movies like As Good as It Gets, but not exactly Dear God. But it's so good. He's full of charm in this movie, and you could see why Greg Kinnear, especially early on in his film career, had a certain amount of charm and charisma that carried him through. And Dear God is one of those movies that is just really great, and I love watching it. I've always had a soft spot in my heart for this movie, and I wanted to pick it up. And it's one of those ones where Paramount released it along with a few other films, but it was on Amazon and it fluctuated. I saw it for $25, then I saw it for $27, and I saw it for $23, and it ended up fluctuating all over the place. And I was just waiting until it hit such kind of a lowish number that I could say it's worth it for me to pick this thing up, and it finally is. And so I'm damn glad to finally have this in the collection. Finally good to have a little more Greg Kinnear love. Can't say I have a lot of Greg Kinnear movies in the collection. There's only a few I've actually ever really enjoyed of his. Dear God happens to be one of them. So good, man. So good. If you're looking for a good comedy you never heard of, Dear God is definitely one worth checking out. Definitely indeed is. So, a little horror goodness, a little comedy goodness. Not a lot this week, but these two, definitely suffice. And before I let you guys go, I wanted to talk about this. So, earlier on in the video, I was saying, hey, a possibility of art house cinema, indie cinema, possibly eventually going to the wayside. This auteur filmmaker is saying it's the end of cinema. And I was saying maybe he was over-exaggerating just a little bit, but Based on this, oh, he may have a point. Variety, fewer movies in theaters brace for dramatic drop in new films. Let's dive in, shall we? Let's indeed dive in. As Hollywood studios battle pandemic fallout and feed movies to streaming services, audiences can expect far fewer theatrical releases than usual in 2022. Business over the next 12 months should help clarify the implications of a lighter release schedule will have on the exhibition business. The major studios have slated 71 films, ranging from superhero adventures to Batman, Black Panther Wakanda Forever, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, to Jordan Peele's Nope, Olivia Wilde's thriller Don't Worry Darling, and James Cameron's long-awaited Avatar sequel. Yeah, talk about very long-awaited. That's a notable uptick compared with 2021 with 57 new releases and 2020 with 34 new releases. A stretch that comes with a COVID-shaped asterisk because cinemas spent many months shuttered or operating at reduced capacity. However, the total number of films scheduled for 2022 has decreased from 2019 and 2018, in which 81 movies were released each year. The downturn isn't only because box office receipts have yet to rebound to pre-pandemic levels, it also reflects the push from studios to bulk up the streaming services owned by their parent companies. Really? You don't say. While the movie theater industry regains strength in a world that's been permanently altered by COVID, the number of new releases in 2022 could keep fluctuating. Already, studios have amended the calendar, and the trend could continue if Spider-Man No Way Home proves to be the only movie to sell tickets. Disney recently decided to not give its Pixar animated feature Turning Red a planned theatrical release and put it directly on Disney Plus instead, and Universal announced that Marry Me, a Jennifer Lopez romantic comedy, will premiere day and date on Peacock. Then again, that's Marry Me. Is everybody really anticipating that movie? I mean, come on. For theater operators, it's valid to question how the slump in blockbuster hopefuls will impact the overall marketplace. Though sales have been improving, box office receipts remain much lower than they were in non-COVID times. North American revenues in 2021 reached $4.4 billion, a 91% increase from 2020, but a 61% drop from 2019. That gap should continue to shrink in 2022, but can superhero spectacles, sequels in popular series, and scary stories sustain the entire industry? Anytime you're losing 12% of your product, you're facing an uphill box office battle, this media analyst who knows his stuff tends to say. It's also worth noting that the stakes are higher than ever, with streaming ballooning while theatrical sales are deflating. Broken down by studio, Universal plans to release 27 films, including 6 from indie division-focused features, more than double its closest rival. Sony will put out 13 films, Warner Brothers will have 12, Disney will debut 11, and Paramount will premiere 9 movies in theaters. Only Universal has increased its theatrical output since the pandemic struck. The studio behind Jurassic World and Minions released 15 new films, including 5 from Focus in 2021. 16, including 6 from Focus in 2020 and 20 in 2019. By comparison, Warner Brothers delivered 17 movies in 2021, 4 in 2020, and 18 in 2019. Disney had relatively similar numbers, opening 12 movies in 2021, 5 in 2020, and 19 in 2019. Ditto for Sony as well. Released 14 films in 2021, 10 in 2020. Paramount released fewer films than its rivals in 2021 and 2020, with 4 and 3 titles respectively. In 2019, Sony unveiled 16 movies and Paramount launched 9. Making money matters more complicated, each studio has established a unique strategy to present new movies to the masses. Disney, Warner Brothers, and Paramount have mostly converged on a 45-day theatrical window, while Universal has an agreement to keep movies in cinemas for at least 17 days before putting them on digital platforms. The collapse of the theatrical window, which shrunk from 75 days in pre-pandemic times, will have an unknowable impact on ticket sales. The theater owner Rick Roman is worried that fewer movies will eventually translate to lower attendance levels. It's not that we're going to go up against streaming, they're complementary experiences. But if you cut down the number of pictures we have to play, it changes the outcome. It has a big impact on our ability to make money. He also fears that it could lead to the permanent disappearance of films catering to certain crowds, namely ticket buyers over the age of 35. The beauty of movie theaters is the ability to appeal to everybody. If all I have is horror and Marvel blockbusters, it leaves a big hole in the market. Yeah, it kind of does. Indeed, guys. I mean, fascinating numbers, fascinating article overall. I'm really amazed by that. And I got to admit, it's scary to really look at those numbers and say, wow, everything is really shrinking. Now, yes, you can blame it on COVID to a certain extent. That's not a thing that you have to ignore. You got to put it out there because it really is true. COVID changed the game, right? Because when COVID happened, yes, a lot of these studios were putting out lesser films every single year, but when COVID happened, it really ended up tearing the box office, tearing movie studios apart, and it ended up really giving a lot of these streamers a chance to really finally put their stamp on the marketplace and leave it there. They were already going to do it anyways. It's not like it was never going to happen. It would have happened eventually, maybe 5 years down the line, maybe 10, who knows, depending on what would have happened. But COVID ended up really speeding up the process. And then you look at the idea that theaters were shut down and the idea that a lot of these studios had one of two options to do, right? You either hold back those releases or you end up putting them on a streaming platform or giving them to other streaming platforms like some studios did with Netflix. And that way, you're basically, a studio head is basically saying, we know we're not going to make any money on this, and we're giving it to these streaming platforms because they're done, they're just collecting dust, they're not getting any type of revenue at all, and if we give it to a streaming platform, or if we put it on our streaming platform, at least we'll have eyes on it, perhaps we can get some subscriptions out of it. They're basically waving the white flag, right? That's what they're doing. And now they're doing it even more because you look at 2022, and yes, 2020 and 2021 were not completely outliers because those were COVID years. COVID was a major factor, and a lot of companies were shutting down and opening up and shutting back down and moving release dates, and everything was so wonky and crazy. But 2022 is really the first year post-pandemic that we can actually start to look at the numbers and say, what are movie studios really focusing on? What are they really doing to keep the theatrical experience alive? And what are they doing to make money? And we see it now. And that trend is not exactly a new trend. It's been heading towards that anyways. Superhero movies, big, huge sci-fi blockbusters, horror flicks. Those have been the movies that have made money for a long, long time and will continue to make money, right? And now we're seeing that that's pretty much what these studios are putting out, is the high-profile animated films, is the big Marvel, DC stuff, and it's a lot of the comic book stuff, it's the Oscar clickbait, you name it. It's all that jazz. And now, where does that leave the other films exactly? I mean, earlier when I talked to you about the indie and art house cinema, now, really thinking about it, maybe that director is not exactly over-exaggerating, because a lot of those movies are just not movies that are going to sell in a movie theater. They're not going to do it that well. However, you have the theater owner who ends up saying, we need variety. Because if we don't have variety, then we can't cater to all the crowds, right? You need comedies, you need animated films, you need the horror stuff, you need the dramas, you need everything in there so that you can get everybody to put in their money to go towards the theatrical experience. Because not everybody is going to want to see the latest Marvel movie. Not everybody is going to want to see the latest Avatar flick. Not everybody is going to want to see the latest horror film. But if there's a loved drama that is out, maybe you get some of those 50 and 60-year-olds that want to go. But they're necessarily not going to go to the Marvel stuff. And so you're limiting the potential. And these studios are limiting the potential that movie theaters can build upon. And when you're coming out of a pandemic, when you need every single release possible, a lot of these studios are cutting the legs out from these movie theaters because they either A, don't believe in the films and put them on streaming, or they need them for their own platform to build their platform up rather than make the movie theaters money. And so movie theaters are in a really big conundrum at this point, right? Of course they're going to take the Spider-Mans. Of course they're going to take the Doctor Stranges, and they're going to take the Avatars and the Star Wars, and you name it, the Disney animated properties. Of course they're going to do that. But at the same time, they also realize that, you know, after the first couple of weeks of those theatrical runs, what else is there? What's left? And I have to admit that there won't be much. And that's the big problematic thing here, because Disney ended up pulling Turning Red. It was supposed to come out in March. Movie theaters were ready for it. They instantly pull it. They do the whole thing with that Jennifer Lopez movie. Not that that was going to be some big, huge film, but again, you have a certain crowd that likes Jennifer Lopez. You have a certain crowd that likes romantic comedies. They might have went. And now that got cut under. And so it's really tough to justify one over the other. On one hand, you say to yourself, I get why they're doing this with the streaming platforms. They're too big to fail. They're just too big, and it's just not going to be worth it for them to let those things fail. They put too much money and effort into it to just see it go the way of the dinosaur. It's just not going to happen, man. On the other hand, what are you doing to movie theaters? Because there's a lot of movie theaters that shut down and completely closed and never reopened again. And there's some that are holding on for dear life. And you look at Spider-Man No Way Home, which made so much money, but not every movie is going to be a Spider-Man No Way Home. There's a lot of movies that come out with the promotion and, you know, obviously a lot of the fanfare and just literally drop like a stone. There's a lot of them that have done that. But again, movie theaters can't just depend on every Marvel film out there or every Star Wars entity. They can't do that. They have to put everything out for people to get the wide spectrum. And this is the toughest thing, and this is why streaming is winning the game at this point. Because if you think of yourself, even myself, like I'm 39. This year I'm going to turn 40. Okay, I don't like admitting that I'm turning 40, folks, but yes, I'm turning 40. And I got to admit, even my movie tastes have changed over the years, right? The movies that I was really into maybe even 25 years ago is not what I'm completely into now. I mean, some of those movies I still love. I own them in the collection. I cherish them. But my tastes are slowly changing over time. And maybe I'm not always going to go to the big blockbuster film because maybe that's not what I want. Maybe I want a little bit of an indie movie, or, you know, this love story that I can invest myself in. Or even going with my girlfriend. My girlfriend doesn't love a lot of the big stuff. She likes a lot of the smaller, more intimate movies. And if those go away, who's going to take advantage of that? That's the streaming platforms, man. So movie theaters are really in a no-win situation. Movie studios right now have an obligation to help movie theaters, but to what extent? Because now they've got two ends of the spectrum to make money. Well, we either make money through movie theaters or we make money through streaming. And they have to start saying, what is going to be popular enough? What is going to make us money enough that's going to be worth it for us to to make all the prints and the posters and all the fanfare to get it into the movie theaters. Of course, the Marvel ones are going to come there. Of course, the big high profile blockbusters are going to come there. But if they see a movie that has a smaller cast to it, a potentially smaller opportunity to make money, you're just not going to see it anymore. And that's a goddamn shame, man. It really honestly is, because let's be real, some of those movies, they've been surprise hits at times. Like years and years ago, there's been many movies that were small, little flicks that, you know, you thought, oh, that may make a little bit of money, not a lot, and they ended up really surprising. I mean, look at a movie like Knives Out. Knives Out didn't exactly, you know, think that people were gonna like really go to this movie, right? I mean, it's just a little movie with Rian Johnson directing. I mean, it's a cool little trailer, who done it, but it's not gonna make a lot of money at the box office. Well, it really surprised people. It really knocked everybody out of the park. But now they're putting the sequels on Netflix, and yes, they may get a little bit of a theatrical distribution, but it's not going to be a major one, folks. So the money potential that they could have had will all pretty much go to Netflix at that point. And think about this. A Knives Out sequel, Knives Out made a lot of money. A sequel could really be really anticipated for the box office. Now that's not going to happen. So, as I said, this is not an easy situation. And I could see the advantages that both sides have to offer, but I can also see the disadvantages as well. And it's going to be very tough going forward for movie theaters to want to offer something like that. To offer all of these movie theaters all of these theatrical films. Because I have seen movies, folks. I have been going to the movies for so goddamn long. I have seen movies that literally the first week they have 5 or 6 theaters that it's playing in, right? And then it doesn't make the kind of money that the studio wants it to, or even the movie theaters want it to. And then the second weekend, it goes from like 5 or 6 movie theaters down to maybe 2, if not 1. And literally drops like a stone, man. And so now in a post-pandemic world, it's hard to see how a movie studio really sees an advantage in keeping a smaller film in a movie theater when it's not going to give them the revenue that they really need and or want. And so, on one hand, movie theaters want all of this content. On the other hand, movie studios see an advantage to the streaming services and see these smaller films as an opportunity to maybe put it on a platform that people want and get more revenue through a streaming service instead of taking a gamble on a theatrical release that might not pay off. It's so tough, man. It really honestly is. And on either side, there's really no winning. And at the end of the day, it's you guys that lose out. It's the moviegoers that lose out at the end of the day. And that's a shame, because I truly do feel if this trend keeps on going the way it is, guys, that 5-10 years from now, we might see only big blockbusters coming to movie theaters, and that's it. And that's a real shame, because there's so many movies that I've loved, smaller flicks, that I saw in a movie theater, and I was so happy to see in the theater, seeing it on the big screen. And that might become a thing of the past. And that's a real damn shame, man. It really honestly is. It's a bummer, but it's the truth. And the more that this goes on, the more that movie studios really need the influx of cash and only care about the bigger blockbuster films. I mean, it's tough to see how you really argue with that. And I see where they're coming from. You put so much money into these movies, you want to see them succeed. When they fail, you really get heartbroken by it. But not only that, you lose so much money. So which side of the coin is better? And at the end of the day, no matter what happens, it's the actual film lovers out there that get shafted. It's so tough. It really is, man. I love movies. I love the theatrical experience, but I also love watching movies at home. Perhaps one day, best of both worlds scenario? Maybe. But honestly, that's even asking a lot. Definitely let me know what you guys think about this. It's very fascinating, very interesting. Not a really win-win situation, honestly. But if you got a solution, love to hear it. Definitely let me know, and hopefully you love this video. If you did, definitely give it the thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Check out the other Blu-ray and DVD out and about videos, movie hunting, theatrical reviews with my friends, Blu-ray pickup videos, live streams, you name it, all that good jazz. It's all on the channel. If you love what I do, movies, physical media, hit subscribe and make sure to press that bell so you'll be notified every single time that I make a video. Also, keep updated with everything I'm doing through Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. FilmFan108. Keep updated with everything I'm doing, plus special pictures and videos I do from time to time on social media as well. And just so you guys know, the P.O. Box is still very much alive, very much well, and if you guys want to send the channel any movie-related goodness, care packages, posters, physical media, you can do it. The P.O. Box is in the description below. It is not expected, but it is definitely appreciated. You guys have went out of your way to say, hey, we really like sending you stuff, and we really love the channel, and we want to give back to you. If you want to, P.O. Box in the description below. Cannot wait for where the P.O. Box adventures take me next. But I cannot wait for where physical media takes me next, because it could be good. You never quite know. Physical media is always worth the gamble. You guys know that, especially me as well. So I'll see you back next week for a brand new Blu-ray and DVD out and about video. Take care, everybody, and remember, happy hunting.